This episode of Off My Shelf contains coarse language and adult conversation. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, my name is Tracy James, and welcome to Off My Shelf, a podcast about movies that are, well, off my shelf, where we go through my DVDs and talk about the movies in my collection. In this episode, Josh Ratcliffe is here to talk about the comically acclaimed Austin Powers Trilogy. Welcome!
Hey, how's it going?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm good. It's cold out.
It is very cold out, and I really wish this winter would stop, because it's March already, and this needs to stop.
Right. Yeah, no, I listened to a couple podcasts, and I think Weather Talk was always the first segment. So
yeah.
It's this discussion of it being cold.
Yes.
Okay.
And, there's a difference between -5, and what it is right now, which is, minus 15, and with the wind chill -25. No, we don't need any of this. Not at all.
Yeah, no, it is not great. I got a slice of pizza, and it was freezing by the time I got home.
Yeah. I had a 15-minute walk. I have to walk home every day, and don't enjoy it.
Nope.
Not at all.
No, you don't want. I'm underground for most of it. I'm still angry the whole time. But that's just taking the subway, so.
Well, then you also have a different reason for being angry the whole time. Don't worry. It's not just the TTC, but also the other TTC users that you're just like, get out of my way.
The worst.
What is wrong with you?
Including me. I'm also terrible. As soon as I'm under there, I'm smacking people, elbowing left and right.
Wait, do you not take off your backpack and stuff? And
I know. It's on my side. I have a satchel. It's on the side, so.
Oh, see, that's.
I'm hip checking people with it. That's
Yeah, it sucks to be there.
Let's get them out of the way.
Yeah.
They need to know that I'm there.
Yes, I absolutely agree with you. Get out of the way, people. So Austin Powers, huh?
Yep.
This. I didn't realize how old this stuff was when I started watching it. I mean, the first one came out in 1997.
Yep.
That's 22 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is I have, as soon as I started watching this, when you get, a flashback of something? I have had a flashback with this. It's a stupid, ridiculous anecdote that makes me sound really old, but I'm going to tell it anyways. So this movie came out while I was in high school, and I fully remember watching this movie the first time and hating it. And it has nothing to do with the movie. It just has to do with everything that came before the movie, which technically would have been a lot of fun. I was at a sleepover the day before, and I had been awake for something like 30 hours, 34 hours, something like that. And I sat in the theater to watch this movie, and I was just like, I need to leave. I didn't fall asleep. I didn't think it was boring. I just didn't think it was funny. And I was like, this is garbage. Saw the movie, went home, slept for 15 hours. I remember my mother poking me, are you alive? Yes. And then turning over and go back to sleep. It was fine. And then 4 years later, I saw it and I was just like, this is the most hilarious thing I've seen in my life. Hence, it's part of my collection.
I thought you were going to say I woke up after 15 hours of sleep laughing hysterically at all the hilarious stuff. It had built up inside you.
Yeah.
Until the dam burst while you were sleeping.
It took 15 hours for me to get the joke, And then
I get it. It's a Lorne Michaels impression. Oh, God.
No, not quite. Even though that would have been funnier. Yeah. Maybe I'll switch up my story the next time I tell it. Who knows?
So I was slightly younger. I was 9 when I saw this movie. Mm-hmm. And I saw it in the theater as well. And I was all in. I was so into Austin Powers as a 9-year-old. Oh my God. I've owned this movie. It's been in my collection for 20 years.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
So as soon as it came out.
Yeah, I had a VHS copy of it.
Yeah.
And then now I have a DVD copy.
Of course.
I have not upgraded to a Blu-ray yet.
Mm-hmm.
Amazon, please. I still have a very soft spot for this first one. In my heart.
Yes.
It's probably not the greatest movie. There are definitely some problems with it.
Yes.
However, I have a full page of notes about how much I love this movie.
The worst thing is that as you were saying that, I'm I remember thinking it was hilarious at one point. And I've definitely watched it more than, let's say, 10 times in 22 years, for sure. And thinking it was funny. I cannot remember the last time I watched it, though. And when I finished watching this first movie, all I can think of was, I thought this would be more fun. That was it.
Well, I mean, in my 20s, I mostly watched it when I was very sad. Mm-hmm. And I would go to Pizza, get a medium pizza, and drink a bottle of red wine with it. And watch either Austin Powers or Zoolander. That was God. And then pass out.
Yeah.
That was a Friday night routine for a while. I had some problems.
We all do.
I gained a lot of weight.
We all do as I sit here drinking my wine. It's just fine. Yes.
But yeah, no, actually, I wanted to talk to you first a little bit, if you permit, about like collecting, because I have a similar kind of mindset. Like I used to collect DVDs for a long time, probably until I upgraded to Blu-ray. I actually only recently sold my DVD collection.
Really?
Yeah, I took the plunge. Yeah. I got about $500 for it.
I haven't been able to do that yet because I've actually been thinking, I'm like, I mean, it's old technology. Yeah. I don't know if like I only watch it by connecting my TV to my super old computer that has a DVD player. So like I actually watch it on DVD. And if that computer dies, I'm screwed.
Right.
I can't continue. I mean, technically I can find it on Netflix and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not the same feel. You don't get like commentaries. You don't get weird trailers at the beginning on some of them. You don't get like the minutia, like the experience.
You can't see the trailer for Frailty that came out in 2003.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's just not the same experience.
Yeah, no, I have Blu-rays. I bought a Blu-ray today. Mm-hmm.
Wait, which one?
Documentary Now, the Fred Armisen, Bill Hader series, which I believe is made for 4 people in the world. Okay. It just parodies documentaries. So the first one is a parody of Grey Gardens. Okay. Which everyone has seen as far as I know.
I'm shaking my head, by the way. No, yes.
Which is about the Jackie Onassis' family, who are like weird hermits. Okay. So there's a documentary about them. This is a parody of that.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. That's very niche.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this movie that we're talking about today is a parody of 60s James Bond movies. Yes. What's New Pussycat? Yes. Which is a parody of James Bond movies, or just a Peter Sellers movie that's really bonkers? It's a Peter
Sellers movie that's really bonkers. Because technically, the Peter Sellers James Bond movie would be the original Casino Royale from the 60s that he did, right? Which is... He took it... He tried to take it seriously, but it came off as a joke anyways. Right. Okay. Huh. So there's that. Right. And then they threw in laugh-in breaks in there. Right. And which I always thought so confusing. I'm like, I get it, but why?
Well, at 9, I thought it was great. I was like, suck it to me. Yeah. And then, jeez. I was a very popular child.
Obviously.
Now everyone loves me just like they all do now. Mm-hmm. Anyway, no, well, we can kind of go through kind of the...
Sorry, I interrupted your ask about collecting and your mindset.
So I was the same way. I went to film school. That's how I made friends in college. I watched Arrested Development on DVD in my dorm room. That's how I made friends. Yes. Very popular. I was kind of wondering, like, is it something like we've grown out of? Like, I still do it. I buy records now and I buy Blu-rays. So I've really just replaced it with another unhealthy habit. Yeah. But I'm kind of wondering where you're standing on it.
Well, I must admit, I don't buy DVDs anymore. It's a combination of A, not having shelf space anymore for it, and B, finding DVDs is a lot harder than it used to be. There's that like $5 bucket at Shoppers Drug Mart, but it's always like a bunch of no-name random things that you're just like, what is this? And then $26 for Jurassic World, and I'm like, no. It's one or the other. It's one or the other. But as you can see in here, I collect other things that fills in that gap. So yeah, Josh just turned and looked at like my books and my graphic novels and my figures and my, I don't know, there's just stuff. There's just stuff everywhere. So, I mean, as you can see, like with you, another unhealthy collection.
Yeah, but, no, I always find it like kind of interesting because I think it's like a nerdy thing to kind of like covet things, right? That's sort of the...
I don't think it's just a nerdy thing because, I mean, if you think about, there's men out there even who like they have large collections of shoes, and they're not considered to be nerdy. But like if you have 300 pairs of shoes, it's a collection, and you're weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you're not wearing a different pair of shoe a day. Or maybe you are. I don't know.
They're dress sneakers.
They're dressed, yes. I mean, sometimes people buy shoes just to have them. Yeah. And to me, that's weird. But as a sneakerhead myself, I have a lot of pairs of kicks, but I wear them until they die. The shoes are functional. They're not for your wall kind of thing. So
I know what I'm getting. I'm getting you wall-mounted shoe shelves.
Oh my God.
That's gonna be my Christmas present for you next year.
I may not use them for shoes, just letting you know, but I don't mind shelving as I need it. Yeah. So it's
I'm
fine.
the same way. I live in a bachelor apartment and will be killed by my hoarding habit. They will take days to find me. Yes,
yeah. And what's funny is like this is not anywhere near my whole collection of stuff. And yeah, it's worrisome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you remember when you turned the page on Austin Powers and decided that like you needed to own it?
All
three of them.
I wonder when I bought this. Well, because it's one of those things like, and it's also the same reason why I didn't start buying the James Bond collection, for example, is that actually no, maybe this doesn't apply to everything, but at the same time, I bought one, I gotta buy the other ones. It's one of those things, right? But there are certain lines like I don't cross, like I did not buy the 4th Indiana Jones movie because it doesn't really exist. Okay? No.
Yeah, I only have one copy of that, so,
Yeah. I actually have I have VHS and DVD copies of the Indiana Jones movies, but not the imaginary 4th one that people insist is real. It's a lie. But like, or if a movie came out, like after I started collecting, even though it's part of a collection, probably didn't buy it. The only one I really wish I had was At World's End, which so good. But yeah, I mean, I don't know when I actually bought them, but they've been in my collection for a long time. So I'm thinking at least 15 years. Yeah, at least.
Well, I do remember buying my VHS copy of Austin Powers, which was at Music World in Quebec City.
Ooh,
yeah, that's
Music
a deep
World
cut, like Canada retro reference.
Remember Music World? Oh my God, yeah. That store was the first to go, wasn't it?
I believe it was. Yeah, I think it went in probably 2006, 2007. Very early on in my tenure in Toronto.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then it was Sam's after that.
Yes. That was only like I only remember going to that like once or twice when I was here too.
But it was really like, yeah, that's true. It's very Ontario. It wasn't anywhere else, and there weren't really that many of them in the first place. Right. Oh, Sunrise Records. There's also that place.
That went, I want to say 2012.
Yes, they took a while
there before, and I didn't do that until.
Well, because the one on Yonge Street like survived for a long time, just like the HMV. Like that one survived for a really, really long time. The last one closed last year or the year before? Like
HMV or
the HMV? Yeah.
I think Sunrise might be still around in like suburbs malls.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Actually, not too long ago, I walked into a Best Buy because I couldn't find anywhere else to go. And
just in the day or for a specific item?
No, for a specific item. Like, because I was looking for, I wanted the Beck album, right? Right. And sorry, not like the album, but not like a record, but like the CD. I don't have a record player, so I buy CDs.
Yet.
But the thing is, with when I buy CDs and stuff, the first thing I do when I get home, I buy them and I digitize them. But I have them in my collection and I love it, right? But like I walked in and asked the guy, I'm like, "Oh, where are your CDs?" And he just looked at me like I was a psycho and was like, "Yeah, we don't do that anymore." I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna leave now." The one time I asked somebody who knows something, they act like that. I'm like, ugh. The worst.
Yeah, no, people are HMV, Best Buy has gone way downhill. First of all, as soon as you walk in, they're blasting you with some music, which is like out of some like subwoofer stereo, which is assaulting.
Yes.
And then I go to look at movies still because that's what I do at Best Buy.
Yeah.
Old habits die hard. And it is delegated to a corner that's just covered in dust.
Yes.
And that's where they keep all of the construction equipment from when they're renovating.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, ooh, a Suspiria.
God. Yes, I understand your pain very much. Yeah. Because when that HMV closed from, like, pretty much across the street from them, I was so angry. I was just like, but this is the last place I can go to find the things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought the same thing. Then I looted it like crazy. And was just like, oh, this is 98% off? Okay.
Yeah. Mine.
Yeah, no. Oh, they'll just give me money to take this Game of Thrones Blu-ray? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I actually actively avoided it.
Right.
Because even though it'd be like $3 for something, I would buy 100 things. And then I'm like, that's a lot of money. Mm-hmm. That's what I would have done.
Yeah, no, I probably spent a good $100 there.
Yeah.
Over the various closing things. They got really desperate there at the end. They were selling like fixtures. Like you could buy like the shelving and stuff. And I was like, ooh, this is not a graceful death.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah. So the day I watched this, I watched all 3 movies in one sitting. Mm-hmm. So that day I went to the AGO and went to the new Impressionism in the Age of Industry exhibit.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all gone now because I watched 3 Austin Powers movies right afterwards. And from what I remember, the exhibit was very shagadelic. Mm-hmm. Yeah, which now that I think about it, is not the correct term.
No. Okay. Yes.
It was good though. It was. I enjoyed it, but no, I actually did I blocked most of that out of my brain now. Mm-hmm. I had a very nice conversation with my friend about it for like 4 hours.
Yeah. And then you went home and emptied your brain with this.
Oh yeah. Gotcha. Now I know all of what Fat Bastard thinks about things. And
the worst thing is, it's like I remember Fat Bastard. I don't know how I could have forgotten he was so gross in every way that I was just like, every time he came on screen, I was like, oh my god, no, please stop.
He is quite possibly the most repulsive character ever put to film.
Yes.
It's him, then Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
I would rather watch Buffalo Bill dance around after the tuck rather than Fat Bastard doing anything.
Yes, I agree. I absolutely agree with you on that, yes. I actively had to keep myself from gagging at certain points. I was just like, you're grossing me out. Stop it. Rough. Yeah.
But anyway, let's talk about the first one first, if that's okay.
Oh, no, that's totally cool. So 97, it came out, the height of Big Willie style. Let's put it that way. I don't know. I don't know
what the millennium was right on the horizon.
Right on the horizon, yes. And then we get Austin Powers with the iconic, use of the Quincy Jones soul bossa nova song, reused for the new millennium. And it's great.
It sort of like, I may be remembering this incorrectly. There was a big kind of like hippie push in like the late 90s, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, there was. Yes, there was.
The Ming T band that's used in the interstitials, it looks pretty much just like Oasis. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure it is one of the Gallagher brothers, if not both of them somehow.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I guess it was sort of hit that vibe, right? Like it was pretty successful, like early on the first movie. Yeah. Not as successful as the other two, but quite. It hit a kind of a nostalgia core for a lot of
people, I think that's still around the same time where Big Bad Voodoo Daddies and stuff came out, where swing, that's the term I'm looking for, where swing was a big thing all of a sudden, and then this kind of like hippie vibe came in, and then it was just like the start of like the new wave dance music, kind of like 80s nostalgia feel. So I think it just kind of all mixed in with that stuff from back then was better vibe that was going on, I mean, Daria made fun of it, so it had to have been real.
I don't remember that part of Daria.
Where
I just remember her being very like not caring about stuff.
Well, they had a whole episode where they got into swing and they were wearing like zoot suits and stuff, and Daria was like, that's not a thing I'm going to be doing.
Oh, I should rewatch Daria. I haven't seen that in a long time.
You know what, it holds up pretty well. Yes.
So Austin Powers actually opens with a extended Hard Day's Night homage.
Yes.
Right. So that's also like something that went way over my head as a 9-year-old.
Yes.
But as an adult, I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. I like the Beatles. Mm-hmm. And so that's like, and I really like all the freeze frames in the very early part, like all of the like main credits are accompanied with like a freeze frame of him like doing a crazy pose, and I might unironically like his outfits. I've decided that halfway through the movie. I'm like, do I just kind of like the way he dresses? And
I must admit, at a certain point, I was just like, you're doing a crush velvet jacket with plaid pants and a ruffle shirt, and for some reason, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, no, I admire him for pulling it off as well as he does. But it's sort of meant as a joke, but I think that it's like, it sort of works.
Yes, it does sort of work. And then that's the really weird thing about it. You're just like, I should hate all of this, and all of this that's going on screen should be garish and horrible. But at the same time, I'm like, I like it. It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I
it's
get
sort
it.
of, we may have come around to like a post-ironic kind of view of it, where we're like, oh, this was hilarious and weird at the time. Like, look how crazy his costume was.
Yeah.
And now we're kind of like, yeah, I could see a person wearing that and not look at him twice.
As a person who owns a crushed velvet jacket, I'm okay with that. Yeah. Yes.
I also want to bring up, I looked for these movies to rent PlayStation Network. I actually ended up going to a video store to rent them.
Ooh, so I'm sorry, what? Yeah. They still exist?
Yeah, I took a time machine back to 1999.
Headed into Blockbuster Video.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, I went to Bay Street. And they had them there on Blu-ray.
Okay.
So I was able to rent them for like $8 for the second two, because I had the first one already. So they only had the first Austin Powers movie to rent digitally on the PlayStation Network. But I did read the description, and I wanted to read the description to you.
Okay.
Because the description is really weird. Austin Powers, Mike Myers, the Love Guru, and Wayne's World. Don't know why they used Love Guru as the first one of those two.
No, that's not right.
Or at all. Is a hipster fashion photographer in mid-60s swinging London. Not what he does. No. I mean, he does it, but he's sort of like secret agent would usually be the first
thing that comes up.
The first thing, right? By day and by night, a crime-fighting secret agent. So that's his night job. Austin's wardrobe is pure Carnaby Street at its most outrageous. We just spoke about that. Yeah. His vocabulary is crowded by the cool lingo of the day, and he's irresistible to women, despite the fact that he can be charitably described as stocky.
What?
Which I don't think is part of the character.
No.
It seems like a really weird dig at Mike Myers' body.
Like somebody was just like, Mike Myers is gross. He's stocky. Let's put this in the description.
And his teeth that strike fear into any practicing dentist.
I mean, they do bring that up in the movie. So.
Yeah, but I just really enjoy that this description is really putting some, like, flowery language. Like, some like, third-year English students like, I'm gonna prose this up.
They've done it. They've done it.
When his nemesis, the arch-enemy Dr. Evil, also played by Myers, has himself cryogenically frozen and sent into space, Powers also has himself put on ice so he can be thawed out when Dr. Evil returns. Come 1997, Dr. Evil returns to Earth and is back to his old tricks. Taking over the world is an old trick in this.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So Powers is thawed out and returned to active service, though he soon discovers his style doesn't play so well 30 years on. Also starring Elizabeth Hurley of Bedazzled and Serving Sarah.
They're
both movies I've seen
movies.
In theaters, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay. No. Yeah.
And Golden Globe nominee Robert Wagner from TV's Heart to Heart. And that's the end. That's all they wrote for
That is a weird description. That is like, I don't know, that's like saying, Star Wars is about a nerve herder in space and his friend who has a light sword.
Yeah.
That is,
and he's got some daddy issues.
Yeah, like you're picking the wrong things to talk about this story.
All
which
of
is
them
weird.
are sort of true, except for the stocky thing, because I take exception to that as a portly gentleman myself.
But I don't find Mike Myers to be stocky in any way, really.
Especially in this one, like he's quite young in this. He's only made like. I think that right before this was Wayne's World and Wayne's World 2.
Yeah.
And
So I Married an Axe
And So I Married an Axe Murderer. I think that might be his only 3 movies before this.
That. Yeah, that's actually a total possibility. I think the problem is that his pants are a little tight and they probably concentrated on that too much.
Yeah. I mean, I think he looks good in those pants.
I think he looks fine.
As we've already stated, those pants are rocking. So, I don't know,
description has me flustered for some reason. Like I need to say something like pick out everything that's wrong with it, and you need to change it around, and we need to call the PlayStation people who put up these descriptions and change them because no.
I'm sure they receive many complaints about them daily, and they're like, this again. Sam, we have a dedicated Austin Powers complaint line.
Can we please update this? Let's see what their suggestions are.
Get Sam
we'll
on
get
the
around
phone.
to it.
He's our guy.
Mm-hmm. So on this rewatch, right? I know you said you have a soft place in it, like in your heart for it. Like, do you still find it as funny, or?
I don't think I can possibly find it as funny because I know all of the lines now. I still giggle at things though. And I think there's a couple like perfect jokes in the movie. One of which is pretty early on. It's when he sits down at the blackjack table with number 2, and his Italian associate, whose name I shall not mention.
Why not?
Okay. A lot of vagina. And he says, "Allow myself to introduce myself. My name is Richie Gunningham, and this is my wife, Oprah."
Yes.
I really like the first part of it.
Yes.
Like the "allow myself to introduce myself." Yes. It's such a weird phrasing, and like all of the words sort of make sense together, but as a sentence is complete nonsense.
Well, the thing is, it's the repetitiveness of it. As a native English speaker,
right,
you're like, that's wrong.
Yeah.
But if you were just learning English, you'd be like, that's a sentence. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
you know?
He's not relearning English. They speak English in swinging London, as far as I remember.
As far as you remember, yes.
He does the catchphrases early on, too. I noticed that this time.
He does, yes. Yeah. He does them right at the beginning of the movie. Yeah, as soon as it starts.
And, like, that's not really something that happens in comedy so much anymore. They don't, like, since Borat, I want to say, there hasn't really been, like, a catchphrase-based comedy movie. That has, like, entered the cultural lexicon of douchebags in backwards hats.
That's true. I don't think comedies really... Like, I was having a discussion, of course, in the last episode about, like, comedies and where they're going, and I know we were specifically thinking about, like, sitcoms at that point in time, but, like, how comedies are constructed, whether they're a movie or a TV show, now is so much different than it used to be that it doesn't leave room for catchphrases and, you know, silly jokes like that, because people are just like, no, that's quote unquote lowbrow. I need to be sophisticated when I laugh, and it has to be like a higher level. Right. You know what I mean?
I think a lot of, like, they're kind of going for pathos a lot in comedy these days.
Yeah, you do just kind of feel sorry for people.
Yeah, and it's a lot of, like, kind of, like, either cringe stuff or just kind of, like, there's an underlying kind of moroseness to this. Which I don't dislike. I mean, that's, like, objectively a better kind of more humanistic kind of approach to things. But I do sort of enjoy this dumb piece of garbage where it's like, no, I'm gonna laugh at this idiot the whole time.
Yeah, and I agree.
He's gonna do funny things.
Yeah, well, because I mean, a movie like this is just about making the audience laugh. It's not about making a huge, like, they do actually make a couple of points. Like, they talk about, you know, like the AIDS epidemic and all that kind of stuff, and how his lifestyle doesn't fit into now because of blah, 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 blah. Fine. But they never dwell on it. They don't hit him over the head with it or anything. But it's more just about being funny. We're gonna do jokes, you know? Whereas now it's just like, no, this is real life, but we'll find the humor in real life. Yeah. And you're just like, I get it, it's funny, but sometimes I just want to see somebody fall down. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, and watching a hipster fall down in Brooklyn is not that great. Just because that's just what stairs are.
Yes, that is very true. That's very true.
So, and immediately we go into a sci-fi kind of, like, trick in this movie where everyone gets frozen, and that's just a given thing that happens. Yeah. Just like in Demolition Man. So we have Mike Myers and Sylvester Stallone in this club of people getting frozen and sent into the future.
I love that scene where he, like, comes out of being frozen and he's in exactly the same position in the little circle thing. But did you notice the thing that comes out looks like a fry basket? Yeah. I had never noticed it looked like a fry basket before.
That's part of the warm liquid goo phase.
Yes. And that scene where he's what is it? The evacuation phase. Yeah. Again, one of those scenes that go on a little too long. Yeah. So like they're funny, then they get not funny, and then they get funny again. Mm-hmm. I was angry at myself for laughing so hard at that one. I'm like, this is juvenile, Tracy. Yeah. Stop it.
Well, it's a good thing that the toilet humor will not go any further than that. That is the end of that in terms of this series. Yes. Just an off-screen pee sound. Nothing more gross. That's the end of that.
Till you get to the next movie. Of
sorry, what? Oh, what? I should check my notes. Oh no.
Yes. Well, and that's the thing, like, I mean, what, at that point in time, you're what, like 15 minutes into the movie, 20 minutes in the movie, and they have made reference to 30 different things already, and you're just like, oh yeah, I need to pick all of these jokes out, and they're funnier because I know the source material now, compared to back then, where you're just like, it's stupid, so I'm laughing at it, now you're just like, it's funny because it has a thing with this thing over here. Yeah.
And it is like sort of interesting to think that like there's a huge culture shock in that 30 years, right? Mm-hmm. Like we're almost 30 years out for this movie now, right?
Yes.
So like to think, or it's 20 years out. So like 30 years is how old I am. Mm-hmm. So like if Austin Powers was in the late 80s, what would that be like?
I mean,
just be like a coked up like Miami Vice guy coming into the future and being like, hey guys.
That's true. He'd be asking for crack a lot. He would have been around for at least the start of the AIDS epidemic, so he'd have a, questionable stature on that thing.
Yeah. No, he'd be all about that song about using condoms. Is that I think it's a Boy George song.
Which song is that?
I don't remember.
Is it Chameleon?
Yes. Condom Chameleon, I believe is the name of the song.
Not what that song is it?
No, there's definitely a song that he made, or somebody of that ilk.
Yeah.
Made that was about like if you're gonna wrap it up, if you're gonna love me. It was like that kind of like thing.
Really?
Yeah. No, there was totally like it was an activism kind of thing in the late 80s.
Well, there's the George Michael song "I Want Your Sex," and I know that makes reference to it. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm probably confusing the two.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. That's fine.
Yeah, cut that out.
Yeah.
That point went nowhere. It needs to go. Future Tracy, take it out.
Future Tracy, yes. Yeah. What else is in your notes?
What else? I have a lot of. I mean, I'm only like this far. I'm a third of the page down now.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
I took them in order. I did it as I went. I was a nerd about it.
Nice.
He comes back when greed and corruption rules again.
Yes.
Which is 1997.
And he needs to come back now too. Yeah. Apparently.
Oh, yes. Yeah. No. Mm-hmm. Well, I think I read on the Wikipedia that Austin Powers 4 has been in production since 2005.
I'm sorry. What?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, these movies are huge successes. Mm-hmm. Like the second two made $300 million a piece.
I should have looked that up.
Yeah, I did on a budget of like 30 and 60 million.
Yeah, like, they made a ridiculous amount of money.
Ridiculous, to not have 18 Austin Powers movies is an act of restraint. Because these were massive things, and like the catchphrases were everywhere. For a long time. I think they were name dropped on Frasier. Like that doesn't make how was Austin Powers referenced on Frasier?
You mean, how is Austin Powers not referenced on Frasier? It's culture, I tell you. Culture, yes.
Also, the pose that he had when he was frozen looked like Han Solo when he was frozen in carbonite.
Yes.
Yeah, which I noticed for the first time this time around.
I must admit, I did not actually notice that, but yes, I'm just going to agree with you when you say things now. Yes.
Yeah, sure, why not? Mm-hmm. That's easier that way.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, that's good advice for everybody listening. Just agree with me.
Just agree.
That shuts me up.
Yeah. But I want you to keep talking.
Oh, okay. I also really love Basil Exposition from British Intelligence.
Yes.
His name is Basil Exposition, which I just think is that is another one that I didn't get until much too late into my watching. I loved it. Yes. That's such a good joke.
Yeah, but also when they introduce Random Task.
Random Task.
Which made me laugh so much, and it still does.
Yeah.
And then especially at the end of the movie when he throws a shoe at Austin, and he's just like, "Who throws a shoe? That'll hurt. Like, what is wrong with you? Still laughed way too hard at that joke.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense that it would break the statue in the first place. And we just took that as fact early on.
But I mean, when you think about it, like, Oddjob throws a hat.
Yes,
and
there's a steel brim in the hat. So,
yeah, but
I mean, that makes sense.
It barely touched the statue, and that statue, the head came off nice and clean, too. Yeah. So, I don't know.
No one ever gets hit with the hat in that movie.
It was thrown.
Yeah.
But it gets stuck in,
bars.
In bars.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, you know, it's James Bond. He dodged out of the way.
I mean, it's like Chekhov's hat. Like, somebody needs to get hit with that hat. That's like, true. I need to see the damage that hat's gonna do.
Yeah, somebody needs to die from the hat. Yeah. That's true. Nobody dies from the hat in that movie.
Yeah. It's such an empty threat.
Yeah. Well, he does threaten him at one point in time with it as well. Yeah, that's true. My God, that is true. Yeah. He really doesn't kill anybody with it.
He's just there.
I mean, even, like, Jaws, like, bit someone's face. I mean...
Oh, totally.
Like...
He totally used those jaws.
Yeah. Interesting. Now I'm gonna look at, like, Goldfinger in a completely different way now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, after Goldmember, I mean, we can't... that hilarious parody that we both are aware, like, how it's gonna replace any memory of Goldfinger.
Yes.
In my brain. Like, he loves gold.
Oh, yeah. I never understood like, I know it's supposed to be, like, Dutch people are weird or whatever, but I never understood like, why is he eating the skin all the time?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't understand why that character is there.
Yeah, he doesn't actually do
anything. Do much.
No.
He just sort of replaces Dr. Evil when Dr. Evil sort of turns. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's got to go back in time to get him, and then he leaves with the Faja.
Yeah.
And so there's that part, and then Dr. Evil comes back, and you're just like, why are you here still? Yeah. It's weird.
I'm very confused by that third movie.
Yeah.
It is a very strange...
It's very weird that I think I liked it the best still.
Really?
I did.
Okay.
I laughed
we'll get
harder at it, even though Beyonce is a horrible actress.
I still felt like she was punching, like she was down somehow. Like she was like, this is below. I'm like, not even a huge Beyonce person. Yeah. Like I have no problem with her. Yeah. But like, I'm like, you're better than this. You can...
Yeah, but that was like at the verge of her career.
Yeah.
Like she was still part of Destiny's Child, and she was just about to go by herself, and Crazy in Love comes out and all that kind of stuff. So like, it's that like middle moment between people know who you are and you're famous.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, totally. I mean, like, Kelly Rowland was trying to make it in that Freddy vs. Jason movie. So
that is true.
She was like, she had to compete.
Yeah. She had to make it work, and nobody remembers the name of the other two, so it's fine. There was 4 of them at once, yes.
I thought there was 3.
No. So originally there was 4. One of them left and got replaced, right? And then that person left that replaced them. Then they were down to 3. And then they went on their own separate ways.
Yeah. And everyone turned out exactly the same level of fame.
Exactly.
Yeah. Who
Exactly.
doesn't remember Kelly Rowland in Freddy vs. Jason? So as he comes out of the freezing chamber at the Ministry of Defense, we have a joke that is one of the few ones that's surprisingly not repeated in the other movies.
Okay.
And that's the Swedish made penis and larger pump. Which is one of my favorite jokes that goes on for way too long because so silly.
It goes on for the whole movie.
Yeah,
that joke, it just keeps coming back. It just keeps coming back all over the place. I'm just like, that's how he defeats Random Task, for example. And you're just like, why is that what you decided to do?
Yeah. Well, it made sense to me. I don't know how we got such a tight seal over pants. But, because never mind.
Yes, please don't explain. No. We're good, yes.
But no, like the joke with the warranty card and the receipt and the book that he wrote about it being his bag baby.
Yeah.
I love that joke. Actually, it's so stupid.
Speaking about that joke, the one joke that comes right before it is the joke that I laughed too hard at. It's Danger's my middle name. Sorry, Danger Powers or no? Danger's my middle name. Austin Danger Powers. That's the joke that gets me in that scene. Yes.
Well, it comes back in the very next scene, which is probably the most problematic scene in the movie. on his jumbo jet.
Yes.
Yes, when he's like, "Shall we shag now?" Or shall we go to the back and shag? That was like to his very brand new professional partner.
Yes.
That's the part I'm like, ooh, this does not age well.
No. But I mean, she brings that up. She's like, no, that's not how things are done. That's inappropriate, blah, 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 you know? The fact that she rejects him ages well, the fact that they get together at the end of the movie doesn't age well, because you're like, that still doesn't make any sense. But, you know, I guess it works.
Yeah, somehow. I mean, it's coming, I mean, what's weird about this movie is that he's the goofy guy that we're laughing at, but in the reality of the movie, he is the sexiest man that's ever lived.
Yes.
So, like, we're kind of going, like, ooh, that kind of, like, that weirdo guy with the terrible teeth is, like, coming on real strong. But in his reality, like, he's the one that's, like, he's the best, right?
Yeah.
Like, everyone wants to be with him. So it's sort of a weird kind of mindset to be in.
In general.
Yeah, in general.
No, I get that. But the thing is, too, is, like, even I mean, they bring this up in the movie, like Mimi Rogers, when she's talking to Elizabeth Hurley, she's like, you have to realize in the 60s you could be a sex symbol and have bad teeth. First of all, hilarious. Second of all, it's kind of true. I mean, look at Mick Jagger. I mean,
that's a weirdo dude.
Yeah, he's strange.
Yeah.
You know, and he's definitely not attractive by today's standards.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like a walking piece of beef jerky.
But that's years of drugs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I know. Sexy drugs.
I mean, but they still wrote a song about him because you gotta have the moves like Jagger to turn people on. It's all about those hip movements. Apparently.
Yeah, everyone loves walking around like a chicken. That's the hip dance moves of today.
Who doesn't? I mean,
pointing at stuff.
What's his face from Aerosmith? Like totally emulates.
Oh, that dude's so weird looking.
He's so weird. Yeah, another person who's turned to leather. Who also, like, I've seen pictures of him recently, and he's got, like, little reading glasses and stuff. He looks just like a proud mom of people, you know? It's very odd. It's very odd.
Well, did you know that Liv Tyler did not know that he was her father until she was,
for a long time.
For a really long time. And
yeah, it was like, in her teens when she found out. Like, because he was just, like, a guy who showed up every once in a while and was friends with her mom. And it was like, oh, you're here, Uncle, Tyler, I guess you call him. I don't know. And they'd hang out and they'd, you know, go on little adventures, whatever. She got brought back home and like, oh, okay. That was it. Then one day she was like, that's my dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in a movie that he soundtracks later on. That's what she said. She said that day. It was weird. And
then, you know, Armageddon came out.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yes. That's a completely different topic. Completely.
Is that another episode? Do we have Armageddon?
No, we don't. If I did have Armageddon, we'd have to do it with Deep Impact, and I'd be like, Deep Impact was the better asteroid movie. Bitches. Mic drop, walk away. End of episode, everything's done.
I don't think I've seen either one. I
what?
know.
I mean, I don't think I can recommend them to you and be like, oh my god, you have to watch them?
Yeah.
I'm just generally shocked you haven't seen them.
I've seen other Michael Bay movies, but apparently that's not...
That's not it.
Yeah.
Wait, who directed Deep Impact? What is it?
I'm not sure.
It's probably somebody random that nobody's ever heard of. Maybe, possibly. Let's see. Deep Impact. Director, Mimi Letter. I have no idea who that is.
Really?
She has also directed... Oh, she directed On the Basis of Sex.
Oh.
Yeah, that's interesting. Deep Impact. Also, The Peacemaker with George Clooney.
Oh, I remember that movie. I think I wanted to see that when it came out.
Oh my god, okay. She also did a bunch of episodes of The Leftovers. A lot of TV stuff. Huh. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
It's, yeah, no, I don't think I've seen either one of them. Yeah. But that seems like an outlier for her filmography. Like, based on what you just told me.
Yeah.
But not, like, giant action spectacles. Like, I assume Deep Impact, like, it hits, right? Like, there's a big, like, action scene kind of thing in that?
Oh, yeah. Right at the end, yeah. She did Pay It Forward as well. Which also is not, like, a huge action movie or anything. Just think of these.
Kevin Spacey's in that one, right?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, that's the beginning of his downfall.
Yeah. No, isn't that K-Pax? Did K-Pax
I think they were around the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, On the Basis of Sex is her most recent, like,
it's still around, I think.
Because I think the last movie she did was Thick as Thieves, which was 2009. Everything else was TV or a TV movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, but she's doing like prestige things. She's doing like The Leftovers and
Yeah.
It's a big show.
It's a big show. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. That was a fun digression.
It was.
My next note is about another favorite joke of mine, which is when number 2 is explained to Dr. Evil the different like sections of Virtucon.
Yes.
And he's got like the big map with like models of all the places, and it says that we've got an oil refinery in Texas.
I know what joke you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, and then a factory in Chicago that makes miniature models of factories.
I thought that was a great little joke.
I love that joke so much.
Number 2 in the whole series doesn't do much besides show how competent of a moneymaker he is and gets shot down by Dr. Evil, who just wants to blow shit up. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, because even at the end of this first movie, he's like crying. He's like, I made all this money. You shut up. You know, like, you just come back and you ruin everything. I'm like, yes, you did.
Robert Wagner is awesome.
Yes.
Like, he is, like, so stellar. And for no reason. Like, he should not... Like, he is sort of like that... He's like the real person in the movie, right? Like, everyone else is this crazy caricature. He's just like, no, I make money. I just happen to have an eye patch.
Yeah.
That's his whole thing.
I'm a businessman.
Yeah.
You've been frozen for 30 years. We're worth billions of dollars because I did all the right things. And even though technically we're evil, people just don't know it, so they keep giving us money. Mm-hmm. And then you're just like, I'm going to come back and threaten to blow up the earth. I'm just like, but why? I mean...
And only ask for $1 million.
I wonder what, like, $1 million now is technically equivalent to. Because I think it's...
In 1967?
Yeah.
I actually might be able to do the math on this.
Oh my god.
I think it's probably only... I want to say probably, like, 50 million? So I think I looked up how much a Woodstock ticket was, and it was like $19. But then I looked up how much $19 is, and it's like 120 or something.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I found an inflation calculator. Hold on. So $1 million in 1969 is actually only worth $6,858,637.60.
Yeah, that's still not that much in 1967 for threatening to destroy the world.
That is true. That is very true. But I mean, what is it? Inflation rate was 5.46%. Inflation rate
in the 60s, it was just a nice round number that everyone liked.
I mean, but it's a decent amount of money.
Yeah.
I mean, not a lot of people just had like $1 million hanging around.
Yeah, but I feel like Don Draper had that towards the end of Mad Men.
You think so?
Yeah, he had that like posh penthouse apartment, and
yeah,
he like didn't he sell his stake in the company? Pretty sure he had over $1 million by the end of that series. Yeah.
Yeah, he would have. But he came up with the famous Coke commercial. I only know this because I only watched the last episode of the show.
How good did he look in that that Canadian tuxedo, though?
So I guess we need to get you like a fancy suit at some point, because you seem to be really into the suits.
Yeah, no, I mean, I mean, John Hamm is a cut above.
That is true.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there who are like, you know what, John Hamm, beautiful.
Yeah,
doesn't matter where you are on the sexuality spectrum.
Yeah.
You could be asexual, you could be gay, you could be straight, you could be a lesbian, you could be a dog, and you're just like, John Hamm. Oh yes. You know, it's just a thing. Like, it just doesn't matter.
I like that lesbian dogs go, oh.
I don't mean lesbian.
I mean, usually I like other dogs of the same gender as me.
Yeah.
But John Hamm's looking pretty tight.
Yes.
That's a leg I want to hump.
You all want to hump that leg. It's fine. I am not denying that fact in any way, shape, or form.
No, I mean, I can get a Canadian tuxedo. I mean, I live in the land of it.
Yes.
There are aplenty.
Yes.
I do not look that good in them.
But I bet you John Hamm does.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yes, he does.
Looks like freaking James Dean.
How are you doing this? I hate when people pull off these, like, random fashions that you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
You know, polka dots head to toe. You're like, ew. And then you just see somebody walk down the street and you're just like, why are you beautiful right now? You're hurting my eyes.
Oh, you're like a great Dalmatian.
Yeah. so majestic and beautiful.
Well, I think I'm past the casino scene at this point, and I wrote down that a lot of vagina is not that far off from just a regular Bond girl name.
Well, no, none of their Bond girl names are. I mean, it's Pussy Galore. Like
yeah, Pussy Galore. One of them, I swear to God, is Holly Goodhead.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Sylvia Trench.
Yeah. Which
doesn't sound like it is, but it's actually the worst one.
Yeah.
But like,
there's what is it? Christmas Jones.
Oh.
I thought Christmas only came once a year. Yeah. They gave her that name just for that joke at the end of the movie. That was it.
Joke actually in there though? I think
yes,
that might be.
No. That joke is in the movie.
Are you sure it's not that he's always wanted to have Christmas in Turkey?
Sorry, what? Is that where they are? They're in Turkey?
I think there might be in Istanbul at the end.
Oh my god, no. Because at the end of all the James Bond movies, there's always that like final he's with the woman and sultriness. It's right at that point. It's like it's after all the actions happened or whatever. They like turn over and like I thought Christmas only comes once a year, and I was just like, oh my god, you gave her that name just for this one joke.
It's fair. It's a pretty good joke.
Is it though?
I'm sort of on board with how terrible and obvious it is.
Yeah,
like it's sort of like a slow clap after a joke, where it's just like, yeah, you saw your opportunity.
Yeah, and there it is. Yeah,
you did it.
I mean, I think what people don't realize is that, like, I think James Bond may have invented the quote unquote dad joke, right? Because these dads would have grown up with James Bond. That's where their humor comes from. Those one-liners and stuff. Even like in CSI with like Horatio Caine and stuff, where he makes his joke before like the yeah. They all watch James Bond. That's where they're getting this from.
Yeah, I mean, especially on CSI, they're incredibly inappropriate. Like, he's doing it in front of, like, the family of the victim. Like, there's, like, a corpse.
Yeah.
And he's just, like...
the head's gone or something. Be like, I guess he's not getting ahead today. I'm like, what? That's it. The wife is crying beside you. What is wrong with you? Jeez. It's brutal. I laughed every time.
And then comes a little more toilet humor in the original Austin Powers, which is the scene in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Which isn't quite. Is it considered toilet humor if it's just like someone else thinks that it's toilet humor?
There's an actual toilet.
There's a toilet, but there's no sounds of it actually happening.
Yes.
Because he's actually having a fight in the bathroom.
Oh, that's true. Who does number 2 work for?
Yeah. Yeah, you sure that boss.
Courtesy flush. I hate that it is still funny.
Yeah. Well, especially because it's Tom Arnold, who I think we're supposed I mean, even then, I don't think we're like, yay, Tom Arnold.
Yeah, no. Nobody said yay, Tom Arnold. And they only got Tom Arnold because they probably couldn't get anybody else at that time. Because it was the first Austin Powers movie. Yeah.
He was in the casino that they were shooting at. And it was like, hey, can I be in it? He's like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah. You want a cowboy hat? Like, here you go. And that was it. That was just the whole thing. Yeah.
But that's a relatively, I think I knew who Tom Arnold was at the time, even. That's a pretty real guest star, cameo appearance for a toilet scene.
Yes. I mean, it wasn't he wasn't an A-lister, but he was a B-lister that people knew.
Right.
So, it was a proper name.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they probably couldn't get any better.
Yeah. I mean, it's post-True Lies, Tom Arnold. So, he was already,
True Lies is such a beautiful movie.
Yeah, I mean, he just makes Roseanne jokes the whole time. That's
there
really...
is that as well, yes.
I think I actually have read that some of the stories he tells in that about his ex-wife is actually about Roseanne. That's just things that Roseanne did.
Did she take the ice right out of the fucking freezer?
Yeah, no, she put the batteries in there. That was the batteries out of the remote into the freezer. I believe that is a real thing that Roseanne did to him.
That's kind of fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah, I think James Cameron just said, oh, Tom Arnold's funny. Let's just not write him lines. He'll just do it himself.
That's true. That's true. Just ad-lib. Just go with the scene. Just say something about your ex-wife. Done. They just picked one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so yeah, no, and so he's in that. He's a very supportive stallmate, which would make me very uncomfortable in a men's room.
Yes, I mean I don't like it when people talk to me through the doors.
No, it's the worst. I don't even like it when someone talks to me when I'm washing my hands.
That is very true.
Yeah, I'm just like, no, this is not the room for conversing. This is a room we're in begrudgingly.
Well, I think that's the difference between men's room and women's room.
Mm-hmm.
Like, men really are like, no, we're doing a thing and we're leaving. 2 minutes, a minute, you're out, right? In a lot of cases, women's room are like hanging around the water cooler. You know, they go in there, they're doing their hair, they're doing a little lipstick, they're doing a little doozy, and they're just chit-chatting, and I'm just like, come on! No, this is a place of business, you do that, and you get out. Mm-hmm. I don't need to be your friend right now. I'm concentrating. Yeah. Let's go.
I'm about to commit a crime here. Yeah. We need to not discuss it.
Or they're like, you're clenching until somebody leaves. You're just like, stop talking. Get out. Get out.
I have waited in the stall until other people have left the room.
Sometimes you just have to.
I'm just going to play my game a little longer.
But then you have people come in and, you know, like they do the... a lot of women do this thing, especially if it's like a workplace or something. They do the shoe check. You know, they're like, oh, it's you, Tracy? Hey, how's your day going? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, why are you talking to me?
Yeah, that would ruin the whole experience for me. I'm trying to relax here. Yeah. Yeah.
It's,
This is my break in the day.
You're like, I got up from my desk, so I didn't have to talk to you people. I'm sitting here for 5 minutes, so I don't have to talk to you people. And yet, here you are. Mm-hmm. What's your problem?
Yeah. To investigate the shoe is way too much work in there.
Women, they're, like, I don't know, like, there is a certain expectation in women's bathrooms, like, not necessarily to have conversation, but to be people's friends in a bathroom. Especially when you, like, nightclubs and stuff where it's, like, drunk chicks and everything. Oh my god, I love your hair. Oh my god, I love you. We're friends now. And you're just like, no.
Yeah, no, this sounds like absolute torture to me.
Yeah. Where that status quo doesn't really change in men's rooms, I think.
No, it is. If somebody, I'll give somebody a nod while I'm washing my hands. Mm-hmm. That's really as far as I go in terms of like okay interactions. If someone was like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" I'm like, "Oh, fine, I guess."
Yeah. Or like I do the thing like I wash my hands and stuff, and somebody's talking to me like, "I'll meet you outside. I don't want to be in here anymore. This is not a place for, what are you doing this weekend?"
Yeah.
I'm good.
I mean, somebody might try to kill me from behind out of a hidden panel that's just in the wall.
That is true.
Yeah.
But you just have to show them. I was gonna make a joke and I've lost it. It's fine. I'm just gonna keep going.
As a future Tracy to cut out
that? Yes. Joke's on you, it's gonna still be in there.
Yeah.
Well, but it's actually really a joke on me, isn't it? Okay. You're like, oh my god, Tracy's stupid.
And then we have The Night on the Town with
Burt Bacharach?
With Burt Bacharach.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is a song that I quite enjoy.
I love that song. I think it's great. It shows up in all the movies, which I find interesting.
I actually used to sing that to my girlfriend a lot. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I changed the lyrics so they'd be all cutesy. Yeah. Even more cutesy than they already are.
Like I was about to say, I'm like, they're already really cute.
I was gross. We were disgusting together. It was awful.
Oh, that's like beating with like a sock full of batteries kind of thing, right? Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Like full of very cute bunnies. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, no, so that was, that's an embarrassing fact that I've never told anyone before.
Thank you, now you told the world.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's that, and they go back to her place, and like, he's being charming. He's like, that's sort of him, like, not pulling up, he doesn't have the facade on anymore, right? Yeah. Like, he's being, like, you can kind of see why he'd be, not quite a sex symbol, but, like, kind of, like, he's charming in that scene.
Well, because he actually, like, instead of just, like, let's have sex, you know what? Let me actually try and, like, romance you and seduce you and actually, like, talk to you and let's do things that make you want to have sex with me, not just me coming out and saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that I have a theory that I watched that I've had since watching this, is that Austin Powers is actually not very good with women, even in the 60s. Like it's completely fabricated by himself as his persona.
Okay.
Based on he does well when he's being all silly and cute and stuff, and then the next scene when he's in a lot of vagina. Penthouse.
Yes.
He seems visibly nervous by the situation.
Yes.
He does not know what to do. He is not putting the moves on her whatsoever. She is 100% in the driver's seat in that scene.
Yeah.
So and he seems like a scared child. He's his hand is shaking.
Yeah.
He said something she does the silhouette thing is in that one.
Oh,
and
that's right.
That's in the other two as well, but in a completely different context.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
I never put that together until this very moment.
Oh, yeah.
And he's shaking. And going, oh, good lord! Which is Kelsey Grammer falling off the stage in that YouTube video.
Yes.
And then when she comes back out, he's like, "Oh, moi." So, I have a theory that this is his first time doing this.
Well, so based on the story that came before it, and him trying to seduce Miss Kensington, was that he was trying not to sleep with her because he liked Miss Kensington. Right. And I think that's where the quote unquote clumsiness comes from, and he's trying to turn off his mojo before then. But then I kind of when you say it that way, I'm like, that's true. He just comes off as bumbling when it comes to a woman, So I don't know what I don't know what to take about that. You've changed my view of Austin Powers.
Yeah, I mean it's I don't really think that he was trying to seduce her in the previous scene. I think he was just trying to show her a good time and get along with her. And then she sort of made a move, and he said, "No, you're drunk. We shouldn't do that."
He's being a gentleman.
He's being a gentleman.
Yeah.
And then he goes off and does his mission, which is his work. And his job, like James Bond, is to pump them for information, which is an intentional pun that I made.
Yes.
Which I feel a little bad about.
Since it gets a lot of them murdered, so
yeah.
Yes.
So he immediately gets the information and sleeps with her. I'm not really sure why he had to sleep with her, but for funsies, I guess. He likes floaty boobs.
Yes.
And then they have the joke, which is a line that's exactly from a James Bond movie, which is, in Japan, men come first and women come second.
Yes.
That's from You Only Live Twice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because that's just a joke in the movie.
It's just another line.
It's just a line pulled from the thing it's parodying.
Yeah. It's not even a parody at that point. You're just it's plagiarism. Yeah. We're just going to go with it. Or
sometimes not at all.
Yeah. Jeez. I have a feeling, though, in James Bond movies, none of those women came at all. He's a quick man. I've always thought that.
You think he's a quick shot, is what you're
saying?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
That's what that opening gun barrel sequence is him.
Yeah. Be like, psh, done. Pistol. It's over. That's what I got.
That's a good question. I mean, but do you think Austin Powers is? I mean, I guess that's the disgusting conversation we should have now.
Oh, God.
Is,
well, the fact that you think that he's bumbling, I think he tries. It doesn't always work, but at least he tries.
I'd say he makes them feel special.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Where I mean, James Bond does actually he doesn't really try to make them feel special. He just kind of says the things that women expect to hear, and it's romance. It's witty banter. And then he gets them upstairs, and then 3 seconds later, it's like, I gotta go, thanks. And then they get murdered for giving out information.
100%.
Yeah. Whereas Austin Powers is just I'm a sexy man. You're attracted to me. Let me try to seduce you for a second. If my, do you want to shag now or do you want to shag later doesn't work. And then he tries.
Yeah.
And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think he
gives
takes
it the
his
old
time.
college try.
Yeah. The college try is just courteous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I would say that Roger Moore's James Bond is probably getting them all the way because I feel like he takes his time. Because...
No, I think it's Timothy Dalton.
You think Timothy Dalton's doing it?
Yeah. A very underrated...
Yeah.
A very underrated James Bond.
I would say possibly Daniel Craig does, but I think they do all the work.
Yes. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, you know what? Yes. I agree with that completely. I really, really do. Yeah, Sean Connery's not doing anything. No.
He's leaving halfway through.
Oh, God. What's the guy who did In Her Majesty's Secret Service?
Lazenby.
I've actually only seen that movie once.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what I think about him.
He has a weird chin. That's what I think of. He's got
that is super specific.
Yeah, he's very dimpled. Like it is a chiseled chin, and I'm not a fan.
No,
I'm not a fan of the a very, very cut chin.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But he's also Australian, which is odd as well.
Just like I literally do not, except for there's a very specific scene in the movie that always pops into my head as soon as I mention that movie. Is there's a part where he goes into like an office building and they have the elevators that don't stop.
Oh yeah.
You know? And it's just like, and all I can think of is like, that's just the scene I see every time I think of In Her Majesty's Secret Service. But also the other thing I think of every time I see it is that you're gonna die if you use one of those. Mm-hmm. That's all I think of. I will never want to go somewhere where that has those because I'm taking all the stairs. Because I will die.
Yeah, I'll get cut in half somehow by an elevator that's going at 1 mile per hour.
Yeah. Or like my foot's in the wrong place and I lose all my toes. Or, like I slip and I fall backwards and my head gets cut off. Something's going to happen and that thing is going to kill me.
Yeah, it's not a way to get ahead in life.
Yeah! There you go. It's fine. We're in CS Island.
Also, one of the evil plans that Vertigon has is a Carrot Top movie.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, he's taking pictures of the
Why
big
did
drill.
I did not get that.
Yeah, there's like a table of contents page, and he's taking pictures of all of them.
Yeah.
And one of them is Carrot Top movie.
I did not notice that at all. And that would destroy the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. No, that's the genesis of one of the greatest moments of late night television history, which is on Conan when Norm Macdonald's making fun of the Carrot Top movie. Oh, so good. Do you know that joke?
I do not remember any of that.
It's Norm Macdonald's the first guest, and he has some other the woman that's Carrot Top's counterpart in the Chairman of the Board movie.
Okay.
And Norm's being a dick the whole time.
Of course,
lobbing jokes.
That's his thing. Yeah.
100%. And Conan says, what's the name of this movie? And the woman says that it's called Chairman of the Board. And Conan says, oh yeah, make fun of that one. Well, yeah, wise Alec. And Norm Macdonald goes, is board spelled B-O-R-E-D? Of
course he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the greatest moment.
The thing is, you say that, and I could just hear him say it that way. Yeah. I could just hear him do that.
Destroyed that movie. No one ever heard of it since.
No, I didn't know it existed. Seriously. Oh God!
Yeah. I believe he's surfing on the boardroom table on the VHS cover. It did not make it. I doubt it made it to DVD.
Oh I guess that's kind of on the level of Freddy got fingered by Tom Green.
Oh yeah.
Jesus, I saw that movie in the theater. I really hate myself for it.
Oh boy. That should be your podcast. Is just regrettable theater experiences.
The funny thing is, I didn't walk out of that movie.
Okay.
I've only ever walked out of one movie in my life, and it was The Night of the Roxbury.
Okay.
Yeah. And
very similar tone to this movie, to be honest. Sort of an SNL kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, definitely an SNL kind of thing, that's for sure. But I think it was I don't even remember why I specifically walked out of this movie. But this was the first time I realized that you have half an hour into the movie to walk out of the movie and get a refund for your ticket. The thing they don't tell you about it's half an hour from the start time, right? And at the start time, it's trailers and ads. Then the movie starts, right? That's considered part of that half an hour, which is bullshit.
Yeah, no, that's
bullshit.
Garbage. Yeah.
Yes. Because I was about 15 minutes into the actual movie and I walked out and I was like, I want my money back. And they're like, no. Guess what I did? I walked into Ants. Sucks to be you, bitches. It wasn't any better. I'm sorry. Oh my god. Yes.
I bet that movie aged very well.
Yes.
So speaking of SNL, I was actually thinking that, like, what's sort of weird about Austin Powers is it's sort of a series of sketches in a way.
It
so
is.
like we have the group therapy scene, which is just a character in a sketch.
It's also beautiful.
Yeah, it also would have been cut out of any other movie. Like it doesn't make it pulls straight out, makes absolutely no sense in context.
Yeah. And they got Carrie Fisher to be the therapist.
Right.
What the shit?
Yeah,
I forgot she was in there.
I think she was having a tough time in the late 90s.
Yeah. Well, she was doing, at that time, she wasn't even really acting. She was doing a lot of writing and all that kind of stuff. She was still making, of course, money.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell she wasn't making money doing something. But yeah, like, that cameo and her cameo in the Blues Brothers, greatest cameos, I think. Greatest cameos.
That's also a very, very long scene, and is actually quite dark.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the only joke is how dark it is. Like, there's really no other, like, there's no real punchline to it, other than Dr. Evil saying, testicles.
Yes. Because it's just sad.
Yeah.
Really.
And they sort of come back to that joke in the third one, when they have, like, they
come back to it in the second one too, because they do the whole Jerry Springer thing.
Oh right, I laughed way too much at the Jerry Springer thing. I felt real bad about myself. That was the one I'm like, oh, I wish I wasn't laughing as hard as.
Oh no, I laughed real hard at that one. That fight with the KKK guy.
Yeah,
he was like, "You hold me back." Yeah. It was great.
Yeah, no, that was a good bit. What else do I have here? I think we're getting like near the end, at least the end of my notes.
Oh, talking about that scene.
Yeah.
Where he mentions his father used to make ludicrous claims, like he invented the question mark.
Right. I have a question about that.
I was supposed to look up who invented the question mark, which is probably not something I'm going to answer to, but at the same time, I was like, that's hilarious.
So I have a question about that. Does that mean that he invented the symbol for the question mark, or is it that he invented blank, the question mark? As in, like, question mark is in, like, something.
What?
Yeah. So,
so the actual, like, symbol.
Right.
Or, like...
Just, like, or is question mark just, like, the end of like, a blank in a sentence? Like, or is it the question mark?
I don't understand the difference.
Okay.
No, I'm confused.
Like, did he invent the symbol for the question mark?
Yeah, okay,
or did he invent... like various items, and he's using question mark as a variable.
Oh, okay, like
right.
X, like X, you know, but question mark.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, that's a good question. I did not think about it except for like the question mark, like the symbol, the question mark.
It's sort of like that Simpsons thing where they tell Ralph to go to sleep, and he goes, "Oh boy, sleep, that's where I'm a Viking." Does it mean that he's very good at sleeping? Or is it that it means when he sleeps, he dreams about being a Viking?
I just assumed when he's asleep in his dreams, he's a Viking. Stop ruining my world! Oh my god, now I'm just gonna question all the things. Jeez. Oh, God. No. Okay.
We can't go down this rabbit hole.
No, because there's so many that you could possibly bring up. I mean, jeez. Okay.
Also, only sailors use condoms.
Yes.
Not in the 90s, but they should. Those filthy beggars, they go port to port.
That was... Yes. Oh, there's some dirty jokes in there.
Yeah, see, I really like it's... I think a lot of the humor in the first one is very much based in character and kind of, like, contextual jokes.
Yes.
I think the other two are very pop culture centric. Like, it's very much about, like, what's happening outside of the movie rather than building on, like, what these characters are in their silly views.
Yes, I agree with you with that. Yeah. Yes, very much so. Especially the third one, it's just all about, like, plucking things from pop culture and throwing it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's worse. It's quite like, oh no.
Yeah. I mean, there were definitely some questionable things in that third one that I was just like, oh no, but I realized I laughed the most at that one. It's just horrible. So, at the scene where this is a horrible realization, and maybe this is actually where, Mike Myers got this idea from, but, in that scene where they're going through, like, the factory, and they're on that tour, he's dressed like the Love Guru.
Yep, I noticed that.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh no.
Yeah.
Why?
It's also, that's their disguise.
Yeah.
Just their disguise. The most garish possible fake-looking costume. Also, the people that they beat up to take their clothes to get into the restricted area. One is an obese woman, and the other's an extremely tall man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when they come out, they're everything fits perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I enjoyed the really horrible realization that it's the Love Guru only because it builds up to that joke, which I find legitimately funny.
Actually, now that we're actually talking about it, I just think I realized something. So the costume that Elizabeth Hurley is wearing, so she's wearing like that push-up, or like the, quote unquote white trash kind of look, like the blonde wig and the jean jacket and like whatever. Is that the same costume that I'm gonna forget what her name is? Frau
Farbissina?
Yes. Wears in the third movie when she visits Dr. Evil in prison?
Oh, I don't remember. I didn't take note of that, but that would be really good.
It literally just popped in my head. I'm like, wait a second, that's the same look.
Oh,
because
that could be. Let's watch all the whole movie just
to get these two scenes down. Because she does the whole like the blue eyeshadow with like the blonde wig, and she's wearing like the jean jacket and like the push-up bra thing and whatever. Yeah. Also, that scene is really gross. It made me uncomfortable.
Sorry, you're just talking about the third movie in general, or
a lot of the scenes, but that scene specifically, I was just like, whoa, no, it was a lot. Yeah. Anyway, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Yes. Scott Evil, why are you putting them in an easily escapable trap and closing the doors and not make sure they die?
Yeah.
Like, just shoot them. Just shoot them. But it's true. All of those spy movies do that.
Yeah, no, that's a great joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to place them in an easily escapable situation and assume it all went to plan. What? Yeah, no,
that's just how it works.
That's exactly... it's sort of like, are you new here? Like, do you not know, you don't know what's happening. You just... Yeah. And I guess that is where the shush thing came from.
Yes.
Which was way overused in the other ones. But it is true, where it's just like, you're out of your element here, man.
Yeah, you just don't get it.
No.
Well, and the thing is I know it's ridiculous, but that's the thing that makes a lot of these movies work. Is like, if you actually kill your nemesis, then what are you gonna do? Yeah. You're just gonna be bored. Mm-hmm. You know? I mean, they went over that in like Megamind. Like he got rid of his nemesis, and he was just like, he feels melancholy. Like, it's
melancholy.
Have you never seen
I don't think I've seen Megamind.
Oh my god! One of the greatest things in it is that he mispronounces words. Like Metro City is Metrocity, for example, and melancholy is melancholy. And I saw this movie in the theater, and melancholy, like the way they set up the scene and everything, I missed like 5-6 minutes of the movie after that because I thought it was so ridiculous that I did not stop laughing. And then when I rewatched it, I still don't know what happened 5 minutes in that. It's fine. But yeah, like, or else, like, in Megamind, what happens is that he gets rid of the hero, quote unquote, and he's the bad guy, he's got control of the city, and then he's just like, now what do I do? Everything sucks, this is boring.
Right.
And what he does is he tries to create a hero to be his nemesis again, so he has something to do.
Right.
And if you did that in, like, James Bond, or you did that in, like, all the superhero movies, if, like, Batman, I mean, there is a comic book where Batman kills the Joker, fine. But guess what? That's one universe. We got another universe where they're still alive. It's okay. But yeah, if Batman kills the Joker, what the shit is he gonna do? He's just gonna hang out in the Batcave and be like, sup, bats.
Yeah, he's just gonna think about how his parents are dead.
Oh god. And then that just
It's
becomes
like,
real. It becomes real emo and stuff, and he starts cutting himself.
Yeah, no.
Alfred's
then
like,
he's the Joker.
yeah, and then he just like devolves into something.
I think we just wrote a pretty good Batman comic.
Oh yeah, and Robin comes back to kill him and stuff. But at that point in time, he's Nightwing, and it's Nightwing versus Batman, and Man-Bat comes out of nowhere, and you're just like, what's going on? And then we could do this. We could write that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm down
right
for
after
it.
our 1980s Austin Powers guy. Yeah, we'll have that movie followed by sad Batman movie.
Isn't sad Batman movie like
pretty much all the Batman movies? Yeah.
Especially those Christopher Nolan ones.
It's
just
good
like,
stuff.
I mean, the third one was
not
but the other two were pretty. Yeah. But he's very emo, especially in that first one. I'm just like, dude.
I stand by that second one.
Oh yeah, the second one's great.
Yeah,
the second one's great.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm not allowed to talk about this, and we're gonna do that soon. Never mind. I'm gonna keep my opinions to myself.
It's bad. I mean, good. I mean, who knows?
We'll just have to see. What's next? Any other
No,
notes?
I'm pretty much set. I think most of my notes kind of cover the first half, and then I kind of just watch the second half.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
sort of
a lot of my
my,
notes are, they're just kind of like they're super just spaced out and kind of random.
Yeah.
Like, I like Will Ferrell as Mustafa, who shows up in this movie and the second movie, and he just won't die, which I think is awesome.
It's a good joke. I enjoy that joke.
It's a good joke. The other thing was that I thought was funny, which actually goes back to the beginning of the movie, which I should have did earlier, was when they go to unfreeze Austin Powers and he's in the celebrity ward. The other celebrities they walk by are Gary Coleman and Vanilla Ice. Really?
Yeah. Those jokes do not hold up so great.
No, not at all. I was just like, what? And my last thing... No, I already talked about the interjections being laugh in, and the girl in the bikini is Goldie Hawn. And... Oh, the guy who plays the president of, like, India is Babu from Seinfeld. I didn't even look up his real name, which I'm a horrible person for. And how excessive...
He shows up in lots of things. Wasn't he Bashir's dad on Deep Space Nine?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, he was.
Yeah.
What else did I see him in recently? He always shows up as, like, the generic Indian character guy and stuff.
I mean, he makes, like, he's making money. Like, he's a working actor. So
yeah, so you can't go wrong.
Yeah, I give him credit for that.
Yeah.
He gets work.
I'd be like, it's Babu! He's always Babu, but it's fine.
I don't think he's ever, like, bad either. He's usually, like, pretty solid.
Decent. Yeah. I mean, even as Babu, I think he was funny, especially when Jerry was a very, very bad man. It's great. Please ignore my bad accents. Don't send me emails about it. I think that was all my notes for the first movie.
Yeah, I mean, like, the rest of it's sort of like a standard James Bond movie, where, like, he gets away, he does his several one-liners, he does a striptease for robots.
Yes.
Typical James Bond. Yeah.
He gets the girl at the end,
Yeah, have you seen the alternate endings? No. There's alternate endings. So these were on the original, VHS that I had. It would, like, if you waited after the credits, it would show, like, deleted scenes.
Did I watch through the credits of this one? No, I did not.
Yeah.
No, I did not.
Well, I think on the DVD it's like a separate thing. So, like, you didn't really have menus on VHS copies. So
of course not,
but no, I think a couple of them are like, the thing blows up and they end up on a raft.
Okay.
And he goes, and Vanessa says, I don't understand. How did we get here? He was like, this is how all my movies end.
There's actually a few James Bond movies that ends up with them just on a raft.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's also, like, an extended scene with the henchman that gets run over by the steamroller.
Yes.
Yeah, it cuts to, like, his wife getting the call at home about how he died.
Oh, that's awful! The funny thing, that actor is in, like, the first scene of the next movie. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like, and then it's just sort of, like, he stops the thing, they do, like, the thing with number 2, and that's sort of the end.
And that's it.
Yeah. And then they dispense with the henchman, which is definitely a James Bond trope as well. The henchman that you forgot about. And then they come back at the last minute. That's how it always ends. They always kill the big bad.
Yeah.
And then there's, like, one extra guy that has to get it as well.
That's just how those movies work.
Yeah, and so I watched this movie constantly for several years. And I was very excited when they were making a sequel. And I remember watching the teaser trailer several times. Because it was like around the same time episode 1 came out. And they did like if you see only one movie this year, it'll be Star Wars. But if you see 2...
I love the way that you remember the trailers for the movie.
Yeah. Just that one. I was very excited for it. I think I was a little older when Goldmember came out.
Yeah.
And so, let's see, it was 2000... What year was it?
Goldmember...
2002.
Yes.
So I would have been 14. So I was a little bit, like, I was already starting to become a pretentious asshole at that point. So I was a little bit like, oh, well, Fellini would say.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
What were your feelings on The Spy Who Shagged Me, as it's called in the States? It is not called that in the UK.
What is it called in the UK?
I don't remember, but it's incredibly offensive. Like, shagged is saying fucked.
Yes.
So, like, they can't have that on posters. So they had to change the name. I think it's only allowed to be called that on, like, television after, like, 11 p.m. in the UK or something.
Let's see. Hold on. Let me see if also known as. Hold on.
It might be just something generic like Austin Powers 2 or something.
I mean, the French title is Agent Secret 00 Sex.
But I mean, that sort of describes most French secret agent movies as far as I know.
I mean, I thought this would be easy to find on IMDb, but...
Unless I completely made that up.
Apparently, the working U.S. title was either It's Shagging Time or Return of Dr. Evil. Huh. When you said that, I'm like, that actually does make sense.
All my lies make sense. That's what's beauty about them.
So, like, that's how your lies work. The soundtrack of the movie in Australia and the UK went gold. In Canada, it went platinum.
I bought it. Yeah, no, I had a copy of that soundtrack.
Oh, The Spy Who Loved Me? Oh, no, the title plays on the film, The Spy Who Loved Me. Never mind. Okay, everything's fine. That's all I found.
Yeah, no, unfortunately.
Apparently I'm bad at Googling.
I can't back up my own claims.
Yeah.
But maybe it was just on TV or something. Like, it might have been like an even weirder fact.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally possible.
Yeah.
Totally possible.
Yeah, also, like, when I watched this movie, I was like, why is Elizabeth Hurley in this at all? Like, why would she do that?
But, I mean, that was, like, I think that's the first acting role she did. But she was just a model at the time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think so. I'm pretty sure that was, like, either one of the first or the first.
But she was pretty good then.
Yeah, she wasn't, tell you the truth, Heather Graham, who had been acting for a while, was worse.
Yeah, I have a different relationship with Heather Graham than you might, so...
Jeez.
So when this came out, I was 11.
Wow.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Hurley. At the time, no, she did do a couple of, like, really small TV things. A lot of modeling, of course. There was The Long Winter. I don't know what that is. Oh my god, she was in Young Indiana Jones Chronicles?
What?
What? I didn't know that. She was in Passenger 57.
Oh, I don't remember that movie.
That's the one where they hijack the plane. Yes. And
that
Wesley Snipes is in...
You mean Turbulence. No, wait, you mean Air Force One. No, wait, you mean...
It's a regular plane.
You mean Die Hard 2?
And Passenger 57 is Wesley Snipes, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
And he saves the day. Yes. Oh god, now I have to click on it just to verify. Yes, okay, I'm thinking of the right movie. I'm okay, yes. Okay, so I'm lying. She had done quite a few things before that. Ed TV came out that same year, but that was a really small role in that one. Oh no, Ed TV came out the same year as The Spy Who Shagged Me. Sorry, International Man of Mystery came out the same year as Dangerous Ground. I don't know what that is. I'm doing a lot of shrugging. Ice Cube was in it. That's all you need to know. Everything's fine.
The star of 21 Jump Street.
Anyways. All right, back to The Spy Who Shagged Me. Yes. So she turns out that she's a fembot.
Yeah.
And dies right at the beginning, and Austin Powers dances naked through a hotel.
Yes. Where it's now, I think, I realize at this point, like, this movie is a parody of Austin Powers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're just like, no, we're really cashing in on what we did before. And I came to the conclusion that I think success is the death of comedy. Where, like, that first movie had so many catchphrases, and they were just like, okay, we're going to double down on everything we already did.
We're like, we're going to keep it all in there, bring it all back.
Everyone loves
It's going to be fine. Yeah.
And sadly enough, it worked. It made $300 million.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
Yep. But yeah, no, it actually, like, I thought that was a really awful way to dispose of Elizabeth Hurley, because you kind of like her by the end of the movie. She's sort of come out of her shell. She's fun. You know. But
technically, if you follow the James Bond mythos, he does get married once, and his wife dies immediately.
Yes.
And that's why he becomes so detached from the women in his life.
Right.
So poor Moneypenny will never have the happiness she wants. Also, he's such an asshole to her. But anyways.
But he's good at throwing his hat on that rack.
Oh, yeah. He's so suave and cool about it, you know.
And then he throws his hat on.
Yes.
Which was weird for 1967.
Yeah. You're like, are you from the future?
Yeah.
You know.
It was just ahead of its time.
Yeah, Kobe wasn't born for another 30 years. It's fine, yeah.
Also, they brought back Kerblakistan.
Was that referenced
it's
in the
referenced
first movie?
in the second one as well. Yeah, no, Kerblakistan is where they stole the nuclear warhead from.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yes.
Which is a nonsense thing, but I just sort of accepted it for a long time before I was like, that's not a country.
No.
and then we get into like pop culture parody stuff, which is like Jerry Springer.
Which I still think is funny.
Yeah, like no, it was really funny.
Yeah.
I really like Dr. Evil just constantly being bleeped and beating up a Klansman. Is really funny, and I don't know why. Yeah, because it doesn't make any sense.
No, you don't even know why it's there. How did people find out about him? Like, what's going on exactly? And then the fight happens, and it's the classic like, yeah, I'm calm, and then he's walking away. Okay, good. Then they turn back around and come at him. It's just so classically done. Yeah, and there's a full generation of people who will not fully appreciate the humor of that already.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was Steve in it. I feel like Steve Wilkos should have been in the. He was like the bodyguard on the Jerry Springer show, and he had his own show for a while. Like that would have been the cherry on top if Steve was the one pulling him apart. Yeah. But yeah, no, I guess that was sort of a cultural thing at the time. Like Jerry Springer was really popular in like the late 90s for some reason.
It was huge.
It was huge. Even though it was like known as being fake. It was like a professional wrestling style.
But it was also one of those things too that people would just make fun of it, like this is garbage, why are you looking at it? But everybody would watch it so that they knew what was going on, and then they could like bitch about it. And you're just like, but that's why it's popular. Just stop looking at it.
It's a good thing we grew out of that culture now, because everything now is just everyone loves what they're looking at all the time.
All the time. Everything's great. Everything is well scripted. There's no random fights on TV. Reality TV is not a big thing anymore.
Yeah, it's more cinema verite than reality in quotation marks. Fly on the Wall. The Bachelor's True Love. That is what I'm... It's the conclusion of my...
And you're like, this is why I didn't have friends when I was younger. Yes.
We were also introduced to Mini-Me early on, which becomes I guess a fan favorite.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it makes Verne Troyer completely famous. Yeah. Which is odd, because before that, the only other famous... Little person. Yes, I want to say the right thing, even though I've already had this discussion before. Is... and I'm gonna blank on his name. Willow?
Yes, I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name, though. They did that whole show with Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, and it was actually really funny.
Yeah, Life is Short.
Warwick Davis. Yes. He's famous just because he did all of the little person roles in, like, iconic things. Like,
Leprechaun.
Leprechaun. Oh, jeez. Yeah, Leprechaun. I forgot. Oh, Jesus.
This is what I'm good for.
This is what you're good for. I mean, I was thinking Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, but you went with Leprechaun.
Leprechaun, wasn't it Leprechaun 3 in the Hood? Leprechaun in the Hood?
Jesus, yes.
I believe there's one where he's in space as well.
Yes. I think there's 6 Leprechaun movies.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. They must have done well.
I've only seen one, and that was more than enough. Like, more than enough.
My favorite aspect of the Leprechaun movies is, so in the first Leprechaun, Jennifer Aniston's in it.
Yes, she is.
But she was not famous when she was in the first Leprechaun movie.
Not, no.
So on the cover of the VHS or the DVD or whatever, they have a shamrock that says featuring Jennifer Aniston in it.
Love it. Yeah.
No one tried. That is really what I even like. You didn't like put her picture on it. It's just a shamrock.
Yeah.
With written in like Arial print.
Oh jeez. At least it's not Comic Sans. That's all that matters. Yes.
But yeah, no, they was like, we're gonna cash in on this Friends craze right now.
But the thing is there's a bunch of people out there who bought it just because Jennifer Aniston was in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know that. Mm-hmm. Like their sales all of a sudden spiked after French came out, and you're just like, what's going on? Oh yeah, Jennifer is in this movie.
It's like, it's those guys from the Windows 95 tutorial disc.
I forgot about that. Oh my god, yes.
And that's what they're famous for, right? Like that's the...
Yeah, that's exactly what they're famous for.
Mm-hmm.
The little fact that I learned the other day was the only reason why when Windows, I think 3.1 first came out, and they included solitaire for the first time, the only reason why they did that was because they wanted to get people accustomed to dragging and clicking.
Oh, that's cool.
It was like forced learning without you knowing. Because that was like the first time you were using Windows and dragging and dropping things and double clicking or single clicking something, and that did different stuff. And all of that is covered in solitaire.
Right. I mean, so like somewhere some computer programmer got a note from like an exec and was like, yeah, people don't know how to click on things and move them around. You're going to have to like put something in that's like fun. And the guy's like, you dumb fucks, I'll put this in.
Fine.
I'll show you.
Here's a card game for you. Done. Yeah.
You lonely pieces of garbage. You're solitaire. I know you know how to play that because you don't need any friends.
Yeah. Well, I mean, initially when computers came out, those were the only people that did it, right? So
that's the only game he knew how to
play. Yeah, he's like, I'm alone all the time. But yes, there's your factoid for the day. Oh. Yes, you're welcome.
Also, so he talking to Basil Exposition in the Shaguar. I think it's called the Shaguar in this movie.
It's called the Shaguar in this movie, yes.
And he's saying that my wife was a fembot, and Basil Exposition
was like,
says,
yes,
"Yeah, we knew all along."
Which is odd.
I really like Austin's reaction shot, which is just confusion. Just...
I mean, it's warranted. I mean, it's thoroughly warranted.
Yeah. There's a lot of calling out of nonsensical things in this movie, which is fun. There's some meta jokes in there that I enjoyed.
Yes.
About how the English countryside looks a lot like Southern California.
Yes.
Or wait a minute, if I go back in time now to before I was frozen, then I would never have been unfrozen in 1997. It's like, that's just not something we want to worry about.
Oh, my eyes are cross-eyed. Yes. But it's true. It's true. Like, that's the thing. It's true. Actually, one of the things I noticed is that at the beginning, when he's doing like the fashion shoot,
his main job, according to the PlayStation.
His main job, yes. Rebecca Romaine was one of the models, which I was just like, what?
Yeah, there's a lot of women in this movie that I very much enjoyed when I was a teenager. She's one of them. Heather Graham's another one. Very appreciated them very much.
You're like, I'm happy you're here.
That's sort of. I've said this about a couple people. Like Emilia Clarke. Is Emilia Clarke a good actress?
Who's Emilia Clarke?
She's Daenerys on Game of Thrones.
Oh, no.
Right. No. I enjoy seeing her though. Like she's so it's hard for me to I am always like very confused. I'm like, is she good or am I just is she just very, very pretty?
No, like I mean, I think her character, like the way she acts fits well with Daenerys. So I think she's good on Game of Thrones.
Right.
But everything else I've seen of him, you're just like,
oh, it's rough stuff. Yeah.
I don't and your eyebrows. What are you doing? I don't. What is? No, none of this. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. It's very confusing for me as a watcher, being like, I don't think you're good, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's difficult, and I'm the same way with like Heather Graham, where I'm like, I know you're not a very good actress, but I do appreciate when you show up.
I mean, I feel kind of horrible for saying this, but the movie that I think Heather Graham did the best in was Boogie Nights.
Right.
Everything else I've seen her in, I'm like, I don't know what you're doing, or why you're here.
Yeah.
So
no, that's totally fair. But
as you sit with a slight smile on your face, all of a sudden you're just like, yes, she was good in that movie.
Yeah, well, it's a little warm in here.
What's going? That's more than just you. Don't worry. God.
I'm trying not. I don't want to be super gross about it, but no. I mean, like these were very popular and beautiful women, especially at that time. Like Rebecca Romaine, was she still? I think she was Rebecca Romaine Stamos at the time.
According to the credits, no.
Oh no. Okay. Maybe that was
if I remember correctly. I don't think it was. I think it was just before.
Okay, because I think she was Stamos when X-Men came out. And that
yes.
was 2000.
Yes, she was for sure. Yeah, I'm not really 100% sure on the timeline of it, but yeah. But I don't know, like, I was really shocked when she was hired to play Mystique, but she was really good at it. Yeah. And I actually don't think she's a bad actress. I mean, she hasn't really done anything, like, that I've seen, I should say, that requires, like, you know, real in-depth acting ability. I think her closest that I've seen is, like, Punisher, when she did that one.
Did you see Femme Fatale? The Brian De Palma movie that she was the star
I did
of?
not see that one. Because that's the same one that's based on Femme Fatale and, like, La Femme Nikita.
Right.
And, what was the other one? Point of No Return. They're all the same movie.
Right.
Pretty much. But no, I did not see that one.
It's okay, I think. I don't know, this was around the same time, so my memory's cloudy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it was sort of an art housey kind of... I mean, Brian De Palma's like schlock. Like, he's like kind of like... I mean, he's sort of treated as if he's kind of highbrow, but he's not. Like, he's doing like...
He's doing artsy action movies.
Yeah. Or like soft focusy kind of like psychosexual kind of things. Like, he's doing pulp stuff, but in the lens of high art, which is strange.
Which is sort of the same thing that Tarantino does. Yeah. You know, I mean,
Oh, no, they 100% go hand in hand.
Yeah, like, I mean, that's the thing with Tarantino is, like, I love, I do like Tarantino movies, but if you dissect them, like the movie Pulp Fiction, they really are just a whole bunch of pulp. Like, they're just kind of, like, cheesy, overdone, you know, they're somewhat bloated and overly, like, dialogued films that are just, like, they're still so cool, though. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing that makes them cool, is that they're just cool. Yeah.
Side note, my mom took my brother to see that when he was 13.
That's not a movie to see as a 13-year-old.
Or with your mother.
Or with your mother, yeah, that's true. The funny thing, talking about Pulp Fiction, that movie came out, of course, my mother did not take me to see that movie. I couldn't see it in the theater and stuff. But I remember, being a latchkey kid, you know, me and my brother, whatever, we come home and there was his friend that lived down the street and he brought over Pulp Fiction. We sat there and watched it, and the last chapter of the movie I did not see for about 8 years.
Because your mom came home?
Yeah, because my mom came home and I didn't get to see it. And of course this was the time, like, I couldn't go online and download something. Right. I didn't have a job, I had no money, I couldn't go out and buy it or whatever. Yeah. And I just had to wait.
Yeah, weirdly enough, like, the damage was done at that point. Like, the last story's pretty clean.
But the thing is, the last story is the crux of... Oh, yeah. It puts everything together, sort of, you know? So for the longest time, I'm just like, what is happening? They were eating... What happened after they ate lunch? What
I gotta find out what's in that briefcase. I gotta know. It's gotta be revealed by the end.
But that's the thing, like, up until that point, you don't even really care that much what's in the briefcase. Yeah. And until the guys, like, Tim Roth is like, open the briefcase, you don't actually think about the briefcase that much or what's in that briefcase. Even though there's that one scene where, like, they open it, there's a light and whatever, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, it's just kind of like a little extra thing they're throwing in there, whatever. But the way the story's written, the briefcase isn't the focus until that last scene. And that's when you're just like, now I need to know what's in the briefcase. You know? And so, yeah, I didn't see that for like 8 years. And it just blew, it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
And then I finally watched the whole thing, and then I was like, oh, it blew my mind.
I would have been like 13 or 14 when I saw it, and I did not enjoy it that much when I first saw it. But now I love it, because I'm a disgusting human being.
Why does that make you a disgusting human being?
Oh, just because it's so depraved. Like, I think that's what got me when I was like 13 or 14. It was just too much. Like, especially like the gimp. Like, the gimp is a tough thing to get through as a 13 or 14-year-old.
Yeah, it's just it's too weird.
Yeah.
Yes.
And a different kind of violent that's in the rest of the movie.
It is. Yes.
And that just made me very uncomfortable.
Well, because it's sexually violent compared to just being physically violent.
Yeah. Oh man, I shot Marvin in the face. That's one of the greatest lines ever. But
yeah.
The gimp sleeping. Iffy.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's really, really true. Yeah. No.
Like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. And he lives in the cage. All right.
That's I mean, to each his own. Fine.
Yeah.
Also, don't rape people. I don't care what sex you are. Just don't do it.
I mean, that's.
If
we have our listeners come out of anything from this, it's don't rape people. I mean, that's just a lesson for life.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just like it's just something people should know and keep in mind.
Yeah,
you know,
I'll just keep that for
run
plugs.
with it. Yeah. If you want, I'll send you a copy of that quote, and you can just like play it randomly. You know. So to end my speech, don't rape people. Walk off stage.
Got it.
You're good. You're good.
Mic drop. We're done here.
You won your Oscar, your Nobel Peace Prize, or whatever.
It usually goes the other way around. From what I understand, you win your Oscar first, then learn the lesson.
That is true. That is very, very true.
Why can't Mini-Me talk?
Except for just the two of us, where he says, "You and I." He doesn't say words, and I have no idea why.
Yeah, because he's a clone. He should be able to talk.
Maybe it's one of those things they couldn't find the right voice for him. You know what I mean? You know,
it's just sort of odd.
It is,
and for a character that's quite offensive to little people, the fact that he also cannot speak.
Well, because
like,
they treat him
like
a pet.
Yeah. Oh, it's rough.
And then he acts like a chihuahua at points, and you're just like, that's not right.
Yeah. We're also introduced to Fat Bastard early on.
Yes.
Which I actually wrote down the most repulsive character ever put to film.
Yes, I thoroughly agree with you.
Stand by it.
Yeah.
And him sleeping with Heather Graham, real bummer.
Yeah.
Real
well,
bummer.
especially that whole scene because he's so greasy looking, and then he rolls over and eats. Is it chicken or turkey? Because that thing looks big.
I don't know.
And then it looks like he just like rubbed the like chicken/turkey leg all over his body first, and I was like, whoa. You know. Yeah.
I mean, it's weird that in these the slant that a lot of these movies take for like female secret agents, like versus male ones, like male ones get to sleep with hot ladies.
Yeah.
But female ones have to sleep with gross dudes.
Yes.
Which is sucky. Like that's a sucky kind of trope.
It is a sucky trope, but I mean it is one that I don't even know how to say that. Well, because I mean they do this within the movie itself, where she sleeps with a fat bastard, and it's a big deal. She's a cheater. She's horrible. I thought you were into me. Blah blah blah. And she's like, I was just doing the job. But the thing is, Austin Powers did that as well. Yes, the girl was hotter, but at the same time, you know, you went out, you were with someone, but you slept with some random chick, and you came back and wasn't expected to that was just allowed. It's just a double standard thing. But I think the whole point is that when a woman does it, it's gross. So the guy has to be gross. It has to be emphasized that it's gross. But when a guy does it, it's okay. Yeah. So, you know, the chick's got to be hot. If they if it was like some fat weird chick, it would have just been kind of like, you know, middle ground, like, this is weird.
Yeah, I mean he like that the scene where he's mad at her is very strange.
It is.
Because like 100 like he should know that's the job. Like they really kind of missed the opportunity to make her the female him. Like that's really what it should have been. It should have been meeting his match with someone that's exactly like him, including all the sexual liberation stuff.
Yeah.
And they didn't really do that. They wanted to make it so it was really disgusting.
Yes.
Which sucks. I think that's a really crappy thing. I mean, it could have been a lot more interesting if it was like Rob Lowe. Like, had she slept with number 2.
Yes.
Like, that would have been like an interesting kind of thing. Where like, he's a bimbo, right?
Yeah.
Rob Lowe.
Yes.
He's a male bimbo.
Yes.
So like, it would have been like, that sort of been like the mirror image of what happened in the first movie. And so he would have kind of been like, I understand, but, you know, I mean, I guess it's not really dramatic. So I sort of see, I guess, why, but yeah.
But I think even if it's a movie that isn't a satire, they do that as well.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Because you know, women are whores and men are studs. So I mean that is something that is just perpetuated in everything, whether we try to get past that or not. Yeah. You know, and it just seems to be reinforced over and over and over again. And the thing that really bothers me about it, too, is the fact that, like, it doesn't matter what movie you're watching. If it's a hot guy, the hot guy's with a hot girl. But, like, I'm not saying you have to be hot for somebody to love you. But when it's the woman often, even if she's happy and the person's nice, she ends up with somebody who is, quote-unquote, below her level. You know, like, that is acceptable.
Yeah, no, I hate that trope. I hate the trope of schlubby dude with hot lady.
Yeah, like why is Lois Griffin with Peter Griffin? Right. That makes no sense.
Yeah, or anybody with
or
Kevin
even
James.
Marge and Homer Simpson. Like, why does that make sense? Kevin James. Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. Jeez. You know, he literally wins a princess at the end of Hitch, and you're just like, but why?
Oh God, is that how the movie ends?
Oh yes, yes.
Have you seen The Americans?
No, that's not a show that I got into.
It's interesting because it takes that trope in a way and doesn't run with it the same way. So like, there's a whole storyline about, because they both sleep with people constantly to get information. But he is the one that it takes a toll on. Okay. Because he's saying that, like, for a man, part of it has to be real for it to work. So, like, no, but, like, so he has to, like, his mind has to be in it, like, in a different way. And so, like, it mentally breaks him down further. Yeah. So, like, as the series goes, he gets really, like, messed up from it all. Okay. And so, like, it kind of flashes back to his training. He's having to sleep with, like, old men and, like...
Wait, he had to sleep with old men and stuff? Okay.
To get information. Yeah. Like, that's, like, he sleeps with all kinds of people on the show. Like, not really men usually in the show, but that is part of his training, is that he has to be able to do it no matter what to get information for his country. So, like, it's sort of an interesting kind of opposite side of it, where it's like, yeah, he's not a stud, but he has to do this. Like, it is a job for him. Like, he's not enjoying this.
Yeah. Well, I read one of those, like, fact things or whatever, and one of the things that they were saying is that even though it seems that women take breakups harder than men actually take it harder, because what women do is they get all their emotion out right away, right? So, like, they break up and they cry and they eat all the ice cream and they go out with their friends and they bitch and they moan and whatever, and it's like 3 months. And then they're just like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm gonna get my crap together. I'm gonna move on, right? Whereas guys are just like, no, everything's fine, everything's cool, and then they're crying on the inside. And because they don't let it out, it sticks with them longer.
Yeah. I don't know what that's like. You still got wine? Because I did both those things. Yeah.
We're laughing because it's true.
Yeah. Speaking of female spies, though, Robin's swallows. That is actually what a female spy is called. A swallow.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not.
Yeah, it's real
know
gross.
That's disgusting.
Yes.
I kind of wish I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, bud. There's your fun factoid.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
What?
Yeah,
okay.
it's like code names.
Well, why a swallow? Like, I mean...
Well, I guess it's like a bird.
Yeah, there's lots of birds. It doesn't have to be a swallow.
Well, I think it probably goes hand in hand with what you're thinking.
Ugh, they're so gross.
Well, there's like Red Sparrow is the name of that Jennifer Lawrence spy movie.
Yeah, Sparrow, I can get it. It's a bird. Fine. Yeah. But they didn't call it Red Swallow. Also, that's a completely different connotation. I wish I didn't say it out loud. Oh my god. That's just... Ugh. Okay. Okay, we're gonna just get off of that topic. Yeah. Yes.
I don't know. These second two movies are a lot harder for me to follow in my brain. Maybe because I haven't seen them as many times, but I feel like also the plot is a lot more convoluted. I
think the second two, yes, they're convoluted, but the actual telling of the story is more linear than the first one.
You think so?
Because the first movie is super, like, it jumps all over the place. It's kind of disjointed. And there's no real, like, does that movie happen in 3 days or 3 months or 3 years? Whereas, the other two movies happen in, like, a week. You know, like, it happens in this amount of time. They went from here to here to here to here to here. Whereas in the first movie, it's like, they were here, and then somehow they're over here, and then they did a thing, and now they're here, and you're just like, what? That's what I got out of it.
Sure.
Yes.
I mean, maybe you were. I think by the time I was halfway through the second one, it was probably 10:30 at night. So I was starting to like burn out a little.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was like, I finished this at 1.
Wait, and then you watched the third one?
No, the third one was finished at 1. Like I finished the whole
third
run.
one finished at 1. Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm burned out.
No, I still did the thing I usually do where I have to watch them on separate days. Because, like, I like to watch it, let it sit for a minute, and then the next day I come back and watch the next one and let that simmer. Yeah. Take notes.
Yeah, that's fair. It's probably a better idea. I decided to get it all out at once, maybe.
Well, because I think when I do it that way, like, they get jumbled. Like, it's like, wait, did this happen in the first one or the second one? Or was that in the third one? When did this part happen? Like, it's one of those things.
I have a question, though. Is Fat Bastard from 1969 or 1999?
She's from the 1970s.
Fat Bastard? Wait, but he's in the second. The second one takes place in 69.
Yeah, but he shows up at the point where he's the one who steals Austin's mojo.
Yeah, that's 69.
No, I thought that was the year after he was frozen.
So 67 was when he was frozen. 69 is what they go to in the second movie.
So then, yes, he's from 1969 then. Sorry.
So why does he know the Chili's song?
I don't know. I actually think that's one of my notes.
Yeah?
I actually think that's one of my notes.
We both took note of the Chili's song.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. This movie doesn't make sense. You shouldn't know the Chili's song.
What is it? He's the other white meat. Yes. I'm just like, don't.
That is such a weird joke that they go so in on.
Yeah.
That he eats babies.
So, okay. Can I let you know another fact that I know that's really weird and macabre at the same time?
Do you eat babies?
No. No, I do not eat babies. But apparently, at one point in time, I don't remember this guy's name, but he was an historian in the either late 1800s or early 1900s, who embedded himself with a tribe of cannibals. And he ate human flesh for scientific reasons. He didn't kill any. He specifically didn't kill anybody, and he did not stick with this after it was done. But when describing, like it didn't become part of his diet or anything.
He wasn't like, I tried it once. I've got a taste for it. I think I'm going to keep going with this.
Good. But when describing what flesh tastes like, apparently it's closest to pork.
Yeah, no, so, I can see that. We're closest biologically to pigs.
Yeah, So, I mean, Chili's baby back ribs.
Yeah.
There you go.
A California cheeseburger, as Chief Wickham calls it.
Awful, yes. We've gone to a very dark place, and that was my fault. Yep. Yes.
But later on, after he sleeps with Felicity Shagwell, Holly Goodhead, he's going through his nightstand full of meat, and he has a baby bottle,
which is just weird.
Which implies that he feeds them first,
or that he drinks out of a baby bottle.
Maybe. Is it weird that that's the nicer possibility. Like, that's the optimistic one that he drinks out of a baby's bottle.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I mean,
that's troubling.
I mean, it's definitely better than eating babies. Yeah.
And keeping them captive long enough that he has to feed them.
Oh yeah, that's even worse. Yeah. That's dark, dude.
Yeah.
Oh jeez. Okay,
Anyway, comedy movies.
Hilarious. Speaking of Chili's, they did a lot of excessive product placement in this movie.
Oh, they did.
They did. Especially Starbucks, Volkswagen, Heineken, and AOL.
Yes. I took note that the AOL video connection was worse than the one in 1967.
What? But I mean, at that point in time, AOL was still huge, but even though it had started to die out already.
Yeah.
But
People were getting mail all over the place.
Yeah. I had, bags full of those AOL discs.
Yeah, frisbees.
All that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Did anyone use those? Did we even have it here?
Oh yeah.
You could use AOL in Canada?
Yes, you could have, yeah. When AOL first came out, we would literally, because if you bought certain books, and which my brother and my dad always did, any technology magazines, whatever, you'd get a disc with it. And literally every week, because you get 2 free hours when you used one?
Sure. 2
or 3 or whatever. Every other week we're installing a new one with a new code. Mm-hmm. People weren't expected to have a specific email address to sign into stuff. So you just got one with a code, you just used it. It didn't really matter. And that's how we piled. We checked oh no, this one's used, this one's used, this one's used. Oh, this one's a good one. Boom, we're online for 2 more hours. It's great. It was great.
I could get one JPEG. Yeah. 2 hours, baby. I'm going to see Jean-Luc Picard from behind now.
Yeah. And, of course, with that, you also, get on, your chat rooms and stuff that you had to refresh the page to see the updates.
You can see some ASL in there, some sex locations.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The good old days is what they say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The golden age of online predatory behavior.
Oh, it was great.
We've gotten real dark in the last few minutes. The project being called the Alan Parsons Project.
Yes.
It's a good joke. I enjoy his accidentally naming things.
Mm-hmm.
Which wasn't really so much a catchphrase in the first one with the Death Star.
Yes.
It was sort of a throwaway joke.
Mm-hmm.
And then they brought it back, and it was pretty funny the second time too.
I like all the quotations of bunny ears being put up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
All the time.
Yeah.
It was great.
There was also when they're on the moon base,
mm-hmm.
Because this is Austin Powers in space, because they did that in the second movie.
Yes.
They did a Moonraker parody. There was Moon Unit Alpha and Moon
Unit Zappa. Yes, picked up on that one.
That's a good one. I'm that's a good joke. I like it. What's funny about the joke is that the person's name is Moon Unit, and that's the weird part of it.
Yeah, I'm I know you can name your kids whatever you want, but give them. Yeah. You're not Costanza. Give them a real name.
Is Moon Unit the one that dated Mark Maron?
You're saying things that I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really have no
Mark
idea.
Maron dated
I know that was
kids.
that's Frank Zappa's daughter.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
But besides her name, I know nothing about her.
I believe that she dated Mark Maron recently.
Who's Mark Maron?
Oh, from WTF, the podcast. Don't know other podcasts.
No.
Never heard of. What's a podcast?
Wait, Mark Maron. Who's Mark Maron?
Lock the Gates. That's him.
No, I don't know that guy. No.
Okay. Oh, that's the most famous podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, now I feel bad.
Oh, that's okay.
No, it's not that I don't listen to other podcasts. I just don't think I listen to enough of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, see, that's the one that Obama was on. Obama was on WTF.
Oh.
That's the one he said the N-word on, and people got mad at him.
But he's black.
I know, and
he's allowed to.
He's the president. He was sitting president
at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's a cool dude.
He is.
And it was also a quote. It wasn't he was just throwing it out there for funsies.
Yeah.
He's no, this is how I talk when I'm not behind the. No, it was
he was quoting.
He was quoting something. Yeah, he was
Gotcha.
Yeah, things aren't going to get better because people aren't saying the.
Yeah.
But then people were he shouldn't, and I'm
he doesn't have
say
to
whatever he wants.
He doesn't have to censor himself.
Yeah.
He's fine. Yes.
Also, the whole movie is sort of a impotent story.
Yes, that is very true.
Which is strange. Is this around the time Viagra became a thing?
Maybe?
I feel like it was around this time.
But why wouldn't he have just gotten Viagra?
Yeah, because he didn't have his whole... It wasn't actually... Like, wasn't it that he had his mojo the whole time? Isn't that the...
That's pretty much what the end of the movie is, yeah. But I must admit, though, when Dr. Evil got his mojo and then he drank the weird...
Yeah, that was upsetting.
That was very upsetting to me. That was just like, what are you... It's like he poured grape, like congealed Jell-O, but not solid Jell-O, into oil.
Yeah.
And that's how it was like swirling around in there.
It
and
had
drank
little tentacle things in it, didn't it? Like it had like little like plasma tentacle things.
It was weird. Yeah. It was just ugh. Yeah. It was all gross.
Yeah, and then he instantly turned a lesbian, apparently, which was the next scene.
What did he turn a lesbian?
Well, no. He turned one, like, to liking men.
No, but that was before... Because remember at the beginning, they're in 1999,
right.
And she's like, I'm trying to love Dear Not Speak Its Name.
Right.
But, back in 1969,
right.
She was into dudes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that actually is a James Bond thing as well. Pussy Galore was a lesbian before he may or may not have.
That is true. Yeah. Yes. Her with her flight school and everything.
Yes. Also, so, these movies were like catchphrase machines, and I didn't actually realize how much the catchphrases had penetrated like my
society
being.
Oh, really?
Not necessarily
being.
my being, but my like social sphere. I'll say. So, whoop-de-doo, what does it all mean, Basil? Was something spoken by my friends several times, and I don't think I ever put it together that that's what that was referencing.
I like that one. Okay.
Yeah, and also I remember I was on the soccer team and somebody got hit in the testicles with a ball, and somebody says, right in the mommy-daddy button. And it stuck with me
amazing.
For 16 years.
Yeah.
And I watched this movie and I'm like, oh, that's where that guy got it from. Did not know that.
Sometimes these things just come back to you at a certain point.
Yeah. Oh no, my memory's disgusting. It is like everything sticks with me forever.
Forever?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have to remember to do only normal things. Gotcha.
Whoop-de-doo, what does it all mean, Basil? Silhouette joke is pretty good.
Yes.
I enjoyed the silhouette joke. And the gerbil at the end really made me laugh. That was... Yeah. That's like an urban legend joke that's like pretty solid. That's
permeated all sorts of things. Yes.
And I actually have an urban legend joke for when we're talking about Goldmember, which is
really?
super disgusking.
Okay.
It is like one of the grosser like parts of that movie.
Remember, take note of that. We will come back to that.
I took note of it already.
Actually, one of the things I found really hilarious is when they got to the beach, they were both, like, not just the fact they were both wearing bikinis, but it was, like, the replica of, like, the Ursula Andress bikini, and I was just like, that's gorgeous. And I'm like, oh, God, Austin, no. Yeah,
it was weirdly enough, like, nice that, like, we had the sexy lady, and then we had the sexy man exactly the same
compared to like completely different.
Yeah, but it was I thought that was like a weirdly progressive scene where it's like, no, we're gonna objectify him the same way now.
I like it. Yeah.
Yes. So there's a lot of song numbers in the second one, and my theory is that Mike Myers was not allowed to host the MTV Movie Awards, and this was his punishment for us. Oh. Yeah. Well,
because like it's surprising that they did like in both Spy Who Shagged Me and Goldmember, they did a whole song, like a whole music video within it, you know? Because just the two of it, like that whole thing, that's like 3.5 minutes long. They do beginning, middle, and end. Sure, they changed up the lyrics and all that kind of stuff, but they did the whole thing. Like, they did the whole thing. Yeah.
And it's like, they were like, well, we're going to sell some soundtracks.
Yeah.
And they did.
They did.
I had it. It's actually not bad. I listened to it, like, yesterday, I think, just to be like, I had this. And there's some song that's, like, pretty good. There's a Flaming Lips song on there. There's, like, that Madonna song was, like, pretty solid.
But is that one from the third one or the second one?
Second one.
It was from
Beautiful
the second
Strangers from the second.
Oh, that is. Well, because when I think of this movie, I think of Lenny Kravitz's American Woman version, right?
Yep,
That's what I think about. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have a killer soundtrack for this movie. And actually, if you listen to the credits, there's a Melby version of Cameo's Word Up in there. Which I was like, that's like, I was listening to the music that was in the credits because I liked it so much. And then it got there. I was like, this is where this song is from? This is amazing. So I thought that was fun.
A friend of mine thought that song was by Korn because Korn did a cover of that as well.
Really?
She thought that was the original.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Word up.
No, LeVar Burton as like the detective in that music video and that guy's codpiece, beautiful.
Oh, I need to watch that. I don't know what that
You
is.
have never seen that music video? You need to have a look at that. You need to have a look at that.
My cable package in Quebec City was not the best. We did not get. We did not have. We had Music Plus.
Yes. I just assumed Music Plus was just much music they just dubbed over half the time.
Like the music videos, they like had French equivalent music, so like
no, more
parodies.
like when the VJs were on, that they'd have like they'd dub it,
right,
and then they'd have just the music afterwards. That's what I
think
thought.
they would have like francophone ones. I think I never watched it. I'm not francophone, so
okay.
I never watched.
Well, because even Much Music had there was an hour every day. I think it's from like 11 to noon. They had a section where they would play French music.
Oh, really?
Every day.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I remember. What was it called? I can't remember what it's called, but it was like some like French saying or whatever.
Right.
And then it was just like
it was called Government Obligation.
Right.
The hour with no ads.
But yeah, like I'm surprised Music Plus was not like that.
I mean, Quebec sort of has its own kind of cultural thing. Like they actually have. There are a lot of Quebecois artists that I've never heard of because I don't want to listen to them.
Yeah.
But they're quite popular there. Like Rock Voisine was a huge thing. And
yeah.
Like, they have their own kind of bubble.
But even like English speaking, they had it's a guy, right?
Think
Yeah,
so.
because I remember that name, and they had a couple of like English songs that were really popular as well.
I think they would try to move out, but they didn't really. This is me talking on my ass completely. I don't think that they sort of really penetrated English culture as much as they did French ones, because like there's a lot of French Canadian pride, so they really want to support. They do support the things that they are.
Well, I guess the most famous would be like Celine Dion, like who actually managed to make it out and stuff.
Yeah, no, she's from where I'm from, and she's like Jesus. There, it's nuts.
Yes.
It's like she's on the cover of all the tabloids.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I was there when Titanic came out, so
it
was everywhere.
Yeah.
And they're also, here's a fun thing. I remember listening on the radio, and they would have French equivalents of like popular American songs. Like I think there was a French version of Will Smith's Miami. I cannot find this online. I have looked for it, but in my head, it's like Je suis allé au Gaspésie. Like I just remember that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gaspésie being a place.
Yeah.
Not Miami.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be a thing.
I'm gonna say this right now. If you ever find that, please send it this way.
It might be one of those things where I'm just like I created a memory for it in my brain and it's just like lived there forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's I don't know what was on Music Plus at all. But I did not see a LeVar Burton detective thing. Did he have the the visor on? Because I really want him to have the.
That is just fully Star Trek. He only does that in Star Trek because of Geordie LaForge.
Yeah.
You know.
But to me, he is Geordie LaForge.
Oh, he is Geordie.
Yeah.
Like I think he's weird looking without the visor. Like
100%.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's probably great, and I wish I saw Roots before I saw Next Generation.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I watch Roots, and I'm like, why is Geordie chained up? This is weird. You know, like this is all I am thinking. And it's not that
his name's Kuta Kinde.
Yeah, and it's not that I think he's a bad actor. He doesn't deserve the ability to act. And Reading Rainbow was a great cultural reference and everything. But why aren't you wearing a visor? You need to be blind. I'm sorry. Like, this is just how this works.
Ironically, the visor made him blind on set. He could not see through.
Yeah, yeah. Though here's another thing. So apparently in this, like, originally. Jory LaForge was supposed to get some sort of implant in the second season that made him get rid of his visor, but because he became so iconic really quickly, and it's not just because of like the seeing impaired thing and whatever, he just became a phenomenon. They're just like, we can't change you. Like this, you are going to keep this visor. Like this is just how it's going to work.
Oh yeah, that was sort of how I identified Star Trek that way when I was a little kid. Like that's how I knew it as the. Like, that was, his image was the one that I knew.
Oh, really?
I think
that
so.
was, like, you think Star Trek and you're like, Geordi, visor.
Yeah.
That's
that was, I mean, I was 4, but yeah, no, that's how I remember it. I think I recognized him more than I would anybody else.
Everybody else was just people.
Yeah, and Worf.
Oh, yeah. Worf is my favorite.
Yeah, Worf's.
Yeah. Worf
I
and
love
Jadzia.
how much they shoot down Worf.
Every time he's like, we should shoot. No. And then the ship almost gets destroyed. And you're just like, why didn't you listen to Worf? He knew what he was talking about. God.
I really need like more YouTube cuts of them shooting him down and him just looking defeated.
I know.
Just like long pauses of him having to sit in it.
Yeah. And every time that it's a battle, it's like some super being that's stronger than even Klingons, and he gets beat up immediately. You're just like, oh, there. I think
towards the end he gets to flip somebody like a couple times.
Yes, he does get to flip people a couple of times in there, I think, in the end.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, but I don't think it ever means anything. Like, I think he flips somebody and then it's just like, then they get up.
One of my greatest things is that there's an episode where it looks like it's this old lady with this little girl come on the ship, and she's like a queen or princess or something. But it turns out that like this old lady is actually like some shapeshifter who's really powerful, and he gets into a fight with this old lady, and she just beats him up, and you're just like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. This is awesome. This is awesome. And that's when you find out, like, I'm a shapeshifter, and she changed shapes into like a monster or whatever.
Isn't that the one where Wesley like tries to bang the other shapeshifter?
Yeah, it's that one. Yes,
nice.
yeah.
Kid's getting his freak on.
That's true. I mean, by like season 3 or something, he's just trying to have sex with everybody that's around his age, you know? Poor Ashley Judd. It's fine.
Yeah, I hear there's a 15-year-old. Yes.
I'm right here. Yeah.
Girl, what?
It's amazing.
Fred Willard's in one scene in Spy Who Shagged Me. He shows up for like 4 shots.
Oh yeah, right at the beginning. Yeah, and then they go back in time, and that's.
Oh, was it at the beginning? I remember him at the end. He's in the room with Clint Howard, who's in all of the movies somehow.
Oh, yes. Sorry. No, I'm thinking of the wrong person. You are correct. Yes. That is very correct. Clint Howard.
Which is weird, because, like, Fred Willard is awesome. And, like, he really could have helped this movie. He is exactly the kind of sensibility that, like, would do well in this environment.
Yeah.
Just, like, very silly, but also, like, honest. Like, he has an authenticity to his silliness.
Yeah.
That, like, would play well in this world.
Like,
and he doesn't really get...
Why aren't you doing this?
Yeah. Why aren't you the one yelling at Agent Johnson?
Also, that whole, like, dick joke that went on a really long time, it's still kind of humorous to me.
It's
and it makes
not
me
bad.
angry.
I think Johnson is the best one. Where it goes, like, when the one where it circles around.
Yeah, and you're just like, Johnson! You're just like, yes, sir!
Yeah, it's good. And Clint Howard is the weirdest person ever.
Yes. And I think that's one of the reasons why he keeps getting hired for, like, these random, like, cameos and things. Yeah. You're just like, there he is again! There's that guy again! There he is, you know?
Mm-hmm. I think he's in all the Star Trek series, if I recall.
I definitely remember original series of Next Generation.
Right.
I cannot remember for any of the other ones.
I feel like he's probably Ferengi somewhere in Deep Space Nine.
I would not be surprised.
Right. I don't know that as a fact, but, like, I feel like that's true. Mm-hmm. I don't know about the other ones, but, like, I feel like it's sort of a tradition. And he's in Discovery. He's near the end of last season of Discovery.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. He, like, gets Tilly high.
Oh, that's right! When they're on the Klingon planet, and then, yes! You are correct.
Yeah.
He is on Discovery.
I feel like hiding Clint Howard in things is a Star Trek joke. Like everyone loves let's throw Clint Howard in here. Just put him in some weirdo makeup and now he's
fine.
And he's somehow better looking.
Yeah. You're just like, well, I think the thing is he's just like, you can't put him just in like a normal situation because then he just sticks out. You're just like, what's up with that guy? But you put him amongst aliens or somewhere seedy and you're just like, that's just a dude.
That's a normal dude.
He's fine.
Right.
Everything's good.
And he was in Arrested Development on the podcast that I listened to last.
Yes, he was.
So I think we're on the moon at this point.
Yes. Actually, one of the things I wanted to say how Austin gets to the moon is he actually takes Apollo 11, which happened on July 16, 1969.
Oh, that's fun.
Yes.
That's a fun fact.
They actually make reference to it and that it is Apollo.
Okay.
And then, it's 1969, so it makes sense it'd be Apollo 11.
Yeah, and I think Ron Howard is currently making an Apollo 11 movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Did that already happen?
No, Apollo 13.
That was Apollo 13, that's right.
Yeah. I think Apollo 11 was and then everything went to plan. The end.
Houston, we don't have a problem. Everything's fine. We'll see you next week. All right, movie done. Credits. Everything's fine.
It would be weird if he made it as a prequel to Apollo 13 and kept making references to something that happens in the future, like as if it's a callback.
Yeah. Or like it's like the foreshadowing,
yeah.
You know? They're just like, "Hey, we should do this again. But let's change our equations." You know? It's one of those things.
So on the moon we get a mini-me fight.
Which was much too long.
Yes. It is somehow the most progressive and offensive scene in the whole movie. Where, Mini-Me really holds his own. He's beating the hell out of Austin Powers. Which is, and that's, pretty fun. That's a good turn. And, that's a silly kind of, we enjoy that because it's very unexpected. But then Austin Powers just throws him against a pole.
Yeah.
Which is
just picks
rough.
him up.
Yeah, which is a rough
He also kind of, humps his face at one point.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good either. Yeah, no, it's both.
Yeah.
It's somehow, good for you, but you shouldn't do that.
No, it's
that's bad.
I don't even know what to say about that scene, actually. I didn't find it funny, and then it just went on for a long period of time. So I was like, can we not anymore? That would be great.
Although when he fakes being nice to him, I enjoyed that part. When he's like, peace. And then he's like, oh, you're gonna be nice. Oh, you gave me my glasses. That's nice. Thank you. Oh, no.
I like your interpretation of it better than what I actually saw on screen.
Well,
I'll tell you that.
Thank you for giving me that time. My segment, I'll just plug my one-man show where I enact all of the characters in Austin Powers, much like Mike Myers does. Okay. Except I also do the other ones.
Ooh.
I do the fight scenes, which is unpleasant to watch. I really.
Are there costume changes in this?
No.
No costume changes.
It is a black leotard.
The whole time? Okay.
The whole time. Okay. It's very interpretive. Yeah, I do some dances. Yeah. Yeah. You should see the part with the drill from the first one. Oh, boy. Yeah. It is worth the 2 minutes of vomiting I do at the end of it. Yeah. Because I'm so dizzy.
Well, because you're twirling into the future. Yes.
That bit went on too long.
Yeah. Just like that fight scene.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Comes back around. Segway. Woo.
Then we get a full Deus Ex Machina ending where he goes back in time. And then what's weird when he wastes so much time when he goes back in time to fix things. Yes. Where I'm just like, why aren't you going to do the other things now? Why are you standing next to yourself?
Yeah, instead of running from the time machine up to the pedestal to be like, hey, I'm you 10 minutes from now. Yeah. Oh, really? Let's do some stuff. Yeah. You should have just gone that way and he does his thing and then you're good to go.
It was like ticking clock, man. Come on.
It's like all those movies where they're trying to defuse a bomb. They've got 15 seconds and they're just talking the whole time. You're just like, hey, I love you, man. You're just like, just fucking cut the wire. Yeah. Just
it's
do
always
it.
The red one. Come on. Just do it quickly.
We know this, Unless you're colorblind, which could be an issue, but I mean, just
Well, I
cut
think
the
that
wire.
needs to go in our Batman movie that we're gonna make.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Right?
You
I'm
find out
colorblind. Which one's the red one?
Yeah, and the reason why he's Batman is because he actually only uses echolocation to find people all the time. You know, but wait, does that like cross into Daredevil territory?
It's pretty much the same character.
It's different universes, so it doesn't matter.
But like, honestly, if we're thinking about it, they're pretty similar.
Daredevil is poor.
Excuse me.
Oh, you need to remember
He's
that.
one of those poor Manhattan lawyers.
Technically, it's Batman and Iron Man that go together. Right. That's, rich. I mean, we call like Iron Man and Batman superheroes, but people have to remember they're just dudes.
So we're saying is they're real life heroes.
You know what? Yeah. They're incredible. Like, their superpower is that they are rich.
Yeah. And
they use that money to make themselves, quote unquote, super. Kind of like Syndrome from The Incredibles. Lots of movie dropping in here. But, they use that knowledge and power for good compared to bad. So
we know for a fact that if there was a James Bond villain in real life, it would be Elon Musk.
Yes.
Like, he's already in that. He's, already wearing the shirts with, the Mandarin collars and stuff. Like, he's already doing it.
Oh, yeah. No, he's Lex Luthor. Right. You know this.
So, who would be, our Batman or Iron Man? Like, who would be the rich dude that has to go beat up the other rich dude? Is it Bezos?
It's definitely not Bezos. I'm gonna say this, and you're gonna think it's a joke. But I'm gonna say Bill Gates.
Okay.
I understand. The thing with Bill Gates is that Batman is a giant nerd. Okay? Yeah, he learned all the fighting styles and stuff. But he's also into, history and, analysis and calculations and all that kind of stuff.
He's the world's greatest detective.
He's the world's greatest detective. And that's the thing. I think Bill Gates will use his mind to defeat Elon Musk. He doesn't need to get into a fist fight. He doesn't have to have a fast car or whatever. He's going to have a contest for Africa to come up with an idea how to stop the ray gun that's going to blow up the moon. And then some kid in the Sudan is going to be like, use this. And then Bill Gates is going to be like, here's $1 billion. Take his, ray, go over here, stop Elon, and then everything will be fine.
Right. And he catches Elon Musk with a malaria net.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how you catch all of the diseases. I don't see why.
$100 is how much I would pay to see a Bill Gates Iron Man movie.
I would watch the shit.
Hey, you know what? $100 and it's an actor being him. It's not even him. I'll watch a $100 movie where it's an actor portraying Bill Gates in the Iron Man suit.
Okay, so in our current atmosphere, who do you think would be a good actor to portray Bill Gates?
Oh, that's hard. There aren't that many, nerdy actors.
Yeah.
Besides, Michael Cera. But it needs to be, Michael Cera in, 20 years. It needs to be a much older Michael Cera. Or possibly, no, I can't think of one.
I want to be like Topher Grace.
Topher Grace would be good. That is exactly the right answer. Yeah.
I want to say, Topher Grace. But then who would play Elon Musk, though? Who has that, nerdy, swarmy kind of...
Yeah. It could probably be Adam Driver. He's kind of got a swarm to him, but I also really like him.
That's true.
He's very good, but he's also he's kind of got that HBO film on him, where it's just kind of ooh, you look gross, man.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I like the idea, but I can't see it when it comes to Adam Driver,
Well, the actual right answer is Kevin Spacey. as we'll talk about in Goldmember.
Oh, what's horrible is that's true. Oh my god, as soon as you said it, I'm like, that is right.
Yeah, that's the right answer.
Oh my god. Oh, I feel dirty.
Yeah.
But okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I see that.
We'll come back to this point in a minute.
We will.
When we start talking about Goldmember.
Oh, there's so many wrongs in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got to the end of Spy Who Shagged Me. I kind of enjoyed that little bit with the two Austins at the end. That's kind of a good joke, because Austin Powers wants to fuck himself.
Yes.
Like, that is really what he wants to do.
Well, the funny thing is one of my notes here is like, isn't there an extra Austin Powers in this timeline now?
Yeah.
And then, oh yeah, it's in the post credits.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I'm like, that's a really happy ending.
Yeah, it is.
Like, that is like for everybody.
For everybody.
Really happy with that.
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah.
You know?
And
So it works out.
yeah, I think that's sort of. Is there more to the end of Spy Who Shagged Me than what we've talked about? I think that's it.
Not really. Yeah, that's about right.
It sort of just goes.
Yeah. I mean, he saves the girl, he saves himself, then there's two of them, and then they get it on. That's how James Bond movies end, except there's always only one of him, but he is
So far.
So far.
Yeah, they need to get old James Bonds back so
Well,
we can have a threesome.
Well, my question at the beginning of Goldmember, what happens to this extra?
He's off having his own adventures. Maybe he lives through from 1969 on. Maybe only our Austin Powers Prime goes back to 1999.
Austin Powers Prime. Okay, yes, I'm okay. Mm-hmm. That took me a second, but yeah, okay. There's a lot of complexity in that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my eyes are crossed again. There we go. Okay. Well, I guess now it's time for Goldmember. I mean, which opens to a parody of a parody, pretty much, that has all of the celebrities in it for some reason, including Tom Cruise, Gwyneth Paltrow, as you mentioned, Kevin Spacey, and Danny DeVito.
As I always mention,
Kevin Spacey. Always do.
If there's one thing the people on the podcast need to know, I always mention Kevin Spacey. He just constantly bringing him up.
Yeah, because you just want to kill conversation on a regular basis.
Hey guys,
just like,
remember that video he put out as Frank Underwood? That was weird, right?
They're like, yeah, I gotta go check the cheese dip.
Yeah, and then I got cheese dip. Win-win.
It's a good day. Any day, it's a good day. Yes, that is very true. The funny thing is the only person I remember there were celebrities at the beginning of this movie. The only one I remembered was Tom Cruise. Yeah. I didn't remember any of the other ones. Yeah. And then when Steven Spielberg showed up as well, I was just like, is that Steven Spielberg?
That one I forgot.
Yes.
I remember that being the funniest joke in the world. Mm-hmm. When I first saw that, I saw this in a theater in California.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. I'm fancy. I'm a fancy man.
Were you in Mann's Chinese Theater? I
was not. It was I think it was in Riverside, California. So, the second best.
It's the second. Okay. The second best. It's only because you were there. That's why.
But I remember that being the best joke in the whole movie, and it's still kind of funny.
It is.
Other than the fact that Kevin Spacey plays Dr. Evil, which should have been a clue for a lot of people. Like it says Kevin Spacey is Dr. Evil. And I'm like, he wanted us to know. Like, he's dropping hints.
He wasn't even trying. He's just like, boom, there you go. Duh.
I wrote down a couple things about this scene. One is Dixie Normus is pretty good. That's a pretty good double entendre James Bond name.
Yes, I agree.
Also, Danny DeVito is awesome. Yes. Because he's not doing mini-me.
No.
It's like there's like your mini-me. He's like, what's a mini-me?
And he did the penguin instead. Like it was fine.
He goes, I'm mini-me, assholes.
Start shooting guns in the air. We're just like, what? Okay. Yeah, no. If you're paying an actor like that money to do something, he's gonna talk. That's all that's gonna happen. Yes.
Yeah, I wrote down it's like he didn't see the last movie, and they just put him in it, and he's like, I'm just gonna do whatever then? And they're like, yeah.
I like Steven Spielberg's joke. He's like, what did you think about the opening? And he's just like, it was amazing, but I have some notes. Goes back and he's like, well, this Oscar says, I know better. Or something along those lines, which I thought was really funny. Yes.
Yeah, he's got that 1941 Oscar. His most famous and acclaimed film. That and Duel.
I don't even know that one.
That's his first one.
Oh, Jesus. You really are a film student.
Right.
And then, of course, Britney Spears shows up in there.
Is that a real Britney Spears song?
Yes, it is. Yeah, she did that with Pharrell Williams.
Oh, man. I wrote down, is this a real Britney Spears song?
It is a real Britney Spears song.
It's not one that survived the test of time.
If you actually listen to the actual produced song, actually it's pretty good.
But
it's like, in this movie, it's like they stripped it down. Like, stuff is missing from it, I find.
It's like an acoustic version.
Quote unquote, yes. You know.
Well, it's like it feels like this is around, like, Toxic era. Is that... Am I saying that correctly? Like, it feels like it was sort of a response to that Christina Aguilera Dirty video.
I think it is actually around the same time. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. But, like, that was one of the songs that she put out that was popular, but definitely not on the level of most of her other songs. Definitely not. Like, it's one of her songs that people have forgotten about.
Right.
You know, songs
I did
like...
not ring a bell at all.
Sounds like Lucky and... I don't know. What's that one she did for that movie that time? I don't know. I'm not going to pretend I know. It's fine.
Is that what it's called on the album? That one that she did for that movie that one time?
Yes.
It's track 4.
It's yes. You know, she was making it work. I like the fact that they played homage to Quincy Jones by having, like, in there, and they're just like, it's Quincy Jones! Yeah. And then they did, like, that orchestral version of the theme, you know? I thought that was... It's a really... And, like, it's, like, a nice, catchy, sort of just fun, light, you know, piece. You know, I really like it.
I mean, I just, in general, like 60s music. And so, like, that kind of flavor is really fun. It's, like, a really fun... And, like, especially because, like, most movies have, like, really dull scores.
They do. Yeah. They do. And it's more like scores that are meant to be sort of forgotten. Right. Like, it's... Or, not forgotten. Forgotten's not the word. It's,
ignored. Or, like, just sort of... Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like, there was a word for it. Like, not ignored, but, like you... Without it being there, you would notice it's gone. But with it there, it actually... enhances, like, the scenes and everything, like, subliminally almost. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas this one, like, a lot of the score is like, no, hear the music, enjoy the music, you know?
Yeah, and it's, like, fun and flowery, and, like, it's got flourishes that are, like, someone enjoyed doing this. It's not it's not like a dredge.
No, exactly, yeah. It's not, like, just like, oh, God, I gotta do this again. It's just like, ooh, I gotta do this again, yeah.
And so we just, like, this is where we kind of kick off, like, a million more pop culture parody things.
Yeah. Fred Savage shows up with his mole. Yes.
Yeah, I kind of laughed at that a couple times. Like, I chuckled at the mole thing.
Yes.
Even though it's really not that good.
It's really not, but it's still amusing.
Also, I feel like Dr. Evil stuff's starting to slip in this one. Like, he's starting to, like, kind of lose the thread on the character a little.
Well, for some reason, he's got blue eyes all of a sudden.
I think he's always had that.
He doesn't. He
does not in the other one.
No.
It is weird.
Yeah.
And it's color contacts, and color contacts freak me out.
Yes. It's just, like, I find it very... Like, I was watching the movie, and I was just like, wait, what? That wasn't there before. Am I crazy? And then, no, I looked it up, and I'm like, no. It's only in that one here.
Yeah, that is not something I want to continue. But he recently did Dr. Evil on Jimmy Fallon and had the blue contacts.
Oh, really?
I did not like it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was not a bad joke. It's that he got fired from the Trump administration.
That sounds about right.
It's not a bad joke. Oh, I actually skipped over something. There was a reference in Spy Who Shagged Me to Austin Powers wanting a golden toilet, which is something that MoMA offered to Trump.
Which is something Trump already has.
Does he? He already has a gold toilet?
Yes, he does.
There you go.
Yes. Yeah, which I think is hilarious.
Yes.
He wants to sit upon his golden throne. Done.
But Dr. Evil slips a couple A's in.
What?
Like Canadian A's.
Oh, yes, he does. Yeah. Yes, that is true. Yeah. Yes.
So, like, Mike Myers is starting to slip through in a few different places.
Yeah.
Also, there's, like, a news crawl in one shot. And I forget what it was.
Oh, is it the one he's, like, been arrested and they show, like, the news report?
Right.
Okay.
Yes. So there's a news crawl at the bottom, and one of the news items is Maple Leafs win Stanley Cup.
Really?
Yeah. It's like he's slipping them in.
I also did not notice that one either. Yeah, okay.
It was a freeze frame joke for me. I was like,
what is
going back. Also, I going back to me, like, catchphrases, penetrating my being. I think I might say, oh, thank you. I feel like every once in a while. Like, I might do it. And I didn't know that that's where I got it from.
Yeah. It's just one of those things you're like, no, that's just what you say.
That's just what I say.
Yeah.
Also, I think that they went a little soft on the lazy eye for Dr. Evil in this one.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very, you know, and even, like, with the makeup, because at first the makeup was, like, it was, like, pulled down, and then this one is just like, no, there's a scar, but your eyes are normal.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's like, I don't need to do this.
Mm-hmm. And Operation Preparation H is great.
It's pretty good.
Which I think is
On the
awesome.
whole, pretty good joke.
Yes. The whole thing with like Scott Evil and like the whole joke he does, and he's like, yeah, it feels good on the whole. I laughed a little too hard at that one.
There's some good stuff in it. Like there's individual jokes that are good.
Yeah.
But it's still relying on the potty humor too much for me. I am not a potty humor person. Okay. Even though we talked about going to the bathroom for, I want to say 10 minutes earlier.
Something like that. Yeah. But I mean, that's just reality compared to a potty joke.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's
true. We're talking about bathroom etiquette.
Yes.
And that's important.
It is. People need to know. They need to know.
This is really a public service announcement. When you're in the bathroom, shut the fuck up.
Done.
You shut the fuck up.
Yes. Remember this, people. Remember this.
Ming T comes back.
Ming T does come back, yes. Daddy wasn't there. Daddy wasn't there.
Oh, so that sequence with there's two parts to it, right? So there's the scene where he's getting knighted. That's first.
Yes.
And Nigel Powers is not there. And everyone's laughing at him.
Yes.
Including a janitor.
Yes. Which I didn't understand.
I still don't, but I have a theory.
But he, because even he gives him, a look like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a theory about what that is.
Okay.
So I think that the flashback to the academy was meant to go earlier on. I feel like that was probably supposed to open the movie before they were able to get all the movie stars to do it.
Okay.
And then we have everyone laughing, including the janitor, because the janitor makes sense at the school. Okay. So then
was the janitor in that scene?
It was not.
Okay.
But I feel like that's what... It was supposed to be a callback to that joke from earlier.
Okay.
But it got cut out or something. Like, I feel like it got cut around, and that was meant to be a callback to the academy graduation scene.
Oh. Okay. But why would... But I just don't understand why they would have left him in there. It's like a millisecond.
Yeah, I know.
Just cut it out.
Yeah.
And it would have been fine.
Yeah, maybe they thought it was really funny anyway.
I don't I don't get it.
Yeah, I feel like it was meant to be. It felt like it was a callback joke to something that we.
Because I made the same face Austin Powers made at the time, Yeah. Yes, I mean facial expressions don't go well on podcasts, but we
grimaced. Yeah. And squinted. I actually really liked his pad in that one, the tent thing, the production design was really cool in that scene. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, because even when Foxy Cleopatra comes back to 1999 and they're in the room and each wall has it almost looks like panels, they're crazy bright colors, but it's panels everywhere, but it's just very cool. Yeah. At the same time, yeah.
Yeah, and so in that scene we meet Fook Me and Fook You.
Yes, which kind of came across as offensive.
Yeah. It is.
It aged badly.
Yes. Oh, very much so. Also sort of playing into a stereotype about Japanese girls liking white men. Yes. Which is sadly not true. Everyone said that. So I went to Japan last fall, and everyone, people said to me beforehand, man, Japanese girls really like white dudes. They're going to clean up. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm still me. That's not going to happen. And then it didn't. And I was a little disappointed.
Well, when you're told something's going to be a sure thing and that sure thing doesn't work out, you're going to be like, huh?
Yeah. I'm like, I guess I'm just not,
You're not white enough?
Yeah. No, I am. Oh, okay. That's impossible.
I feel like I crossed a line, but it's fine.
That's one of the nicer things I've said about myself.
That's worrisome.
The mean things I say to myself are much worse than I'm super white. I also freeze framed on his list of things that he needs to do. Yes. One of them is catch Dr. Evil in the first act.
Which he does, actually.
Yeah. Yes. He crossed it out.
But he crossed it out before it happened.
Oh, did he? Yeah, maybe it wasn't crossed out then.
Maybe it wasn't.
Maybe it wasn't.
Because that's before they caught Dr. Evil, isn't it?
No, that's why he got knighted.
No, it is after.
Yeah.
Because, he's already knighted and stuff. Oh, that's true. Yeah. Okay, so yes. Yeah, I don't pause things. I really should.
I was doing research for the podcast.
I should do better research? I mean, the closest thing to research I did was, Hard Knock Life, which was a cover of the Jay-Z song, which is also a cover that samples the Annie musical song.
Do you think that in the new Annie they just use that?
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
Right?
I didn't watch it.
I did that.
Yeah, because who was it was Jamie Foxx and that girl from
Is it not one of Will Smith's kids?
No, it's not.
Oh.
It's what is that girl's name? Because she did that one movie. Her name is, I'm not gonna say that. It's Quvenzhane Wallace.
Quvenzhane?
I'm gonna go.
I think I've heard that before, and I think I actually did say it correctly.
Okay. Because she was in The Beasts of the Southern Wild. That's the movie that I saw. She was in Trolls. I liked Trolls. Trolls was good. But I also saw Beasts of the Southern Wild, which I understand why people made a big deal about it, but I still hated it.
I did not like it.
I really hated it. I was just like, everything about this puts people of color in a bad light, and B, it makes her and her, the kid is just angry all the time because her father refuses to help them and the community doesn't help and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, none of this portrays anybody, even the white people, the people that are supposed to be quote unquote helping them. It puts nobody in a good light. It doesn't, there's no real message from this heartache that is shown in this movie. And it just comes across as a bunch of assholes being assholes for being assholes' sake, Yeah,
I saw that at the Lightbox, and it was a predominantly white audience, and people were kind of chuckling at things that were happening.
No, there was nothing funny in this movie.
I agree. I felt very uncomfortable, and very aware of how white I am.
Yeah,
and so I also didn't like the movie. I think probably a lot of my dislike of it was based on the way the audience was reacting to it.
Oh,
the movie itself. So it's kind of hard for me to separate those things. But no, I didn't. I was like, I don't think that's super great for anybody in this.
For no one.
So I agree with you completely.
Yeah, I was really shocked too. It was one of the movies I actually sought out to see. Before the Oscars that year or whatever, because she ended up being nominated for an Oscar, and I was just like, good for her. But then I watched the movie, I was just like, but why?
Yeah.
Just everything about it just rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to get any argument from me.
Okay.
I remember I felt like I was the lone voice of dissent in that, for that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it was a very revered movie. That was the cool one that everyone liked, and I was like, no.
I mean, I think there are aspects of it that are done well. I think the cinematography is really beautiful. For example, the scoring is actually quite good, but it's also another one of those subliminal scores kind of thing. You have to actively pay attention to it to hear it. But the overall story and the overall film itself, no.
I think at best it's misery porn. It is just watching people be miserable.
Yes, I agree with you. Yes, I very much agree with you.
At best, it's just...
It's because they're all miserable. They don't do anything to make themselves better. Sure, there's a couple of scenes where, the don't haves, get to a point where they're just just be happy with where you are, fine. But also, you could actually try to not be in squalor. It's... I know in North America it's harder than other places because cost of living is just high here. But at the same time, you don't have to live like that. And it's kind of not difficult. Being homeless on the street in the city was better than the life they were living. So what are you doing? But yeah. Anyways, that's also on a depressing note. Let's skip over that.
So back to eating babies and Kevin Spacey.
Yes. That's the happy topics.
So there's a whole flashback to the academy where you see that Austin Powers and Dr. Evil are roommates.
They went to school together.
Not a fan.
Not a fan?
Not a fan of that retcon.
I must admit, yes, I agree with that completely. But the kid who played young Austin, kind of loved him. I thought he was fantastic.
He is great.
He is great.
I also do enjoy that they dubbed over the voices of the kids with just adult voices.
so good.
Because, like, it is very important. Like, those voices were, like, ones that I imitated as a child. Like, those are important to the characters. Like, mostly is the voice.
Yes.
So, like, if you just, like, they just dubbed over another actor saying the lines, it's pretty good.
It's fine. Yeah, it works out really well. But yeah, apparently everybody in, like, the spy community that is in these movies all went to school together at the same time.
Including number 2.
And, exposition. I was like, wait, what? Okay. Sure. Were the rest of the people?
I feel like half the kids in that scene were on a CW show later.
I didn't recognize any
right?
of them.
I don't recognize any of them. But it feels like they just were like, they were already on set doing another high school show, and they just was like, just move over here for a minute.
Just put on these little jackets.
You don't even have to say the line, you just have to mouth it.
Yeah. Done. Everything's good. I have to admit the time machine car I really liked, except for the plush pink interior.
Right.
But that car was cool.
The Pitmobile?
Yeah, I really liked it.
There is a line in, what's the first Roger Moore James Bond movie? The one with...
It's Live and Let Die, isn't that the first one?
Yes. So it's in Live and Let Die, the voodoo one, where he goes, it's like a blaxploitation movie. And there is a line in the movie that says, I need an APB on a Pitmobile.
Really?
Yeah. It's so weird. I'm like, that's not a kind of car.
Yeah, no.
It's a, like, style.
It's a stereotype.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
I've seen a lot of James Bond movies, so I'm like, I'm able to kind of put things together.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, so skipping ahead, he's going back in time or whatever, and he's at the club, you know, Beyonce's all singing, you know, solid gold, the whole bit. And that scene with Nathan Lane fucking kills it.
It's great.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. Nathan Lane's really good in that scene, too. Like, that can't be easy to do, right?
No, because he is on cue. Like, and he, like, just goes through the lines, actions, everything, just nails all of it.
Right.
And it's hilarious.
Yeah. No, and very, very enjoyable. And, like, Nathan Lane is kind of an unsung hero in a lot of things. Like, like, he's always, like, pretty good. Like, he's always funny, at least.
Well, because even movies, like, people talk about Birdcage, like, all the time when it comes to like, Robin Williams and Nathan Lane and all that kind of stuff. But people always say, like, oh, no, Robin Williams kills it. It's amazing. No, I think Nathan Lane is the real star of that movie. Yeah. Because he just sells all of it, and he's fantastic. You know?
He's great in The Producers, too.
The Producers, yeah.
Which is, I really enjoy the remake of The Producers.
I've only seen it once, and it was a while ago.
Yeah. And
I can clearly say didn't not like it.
Right. Well, I think the part that I'm remembering, because I think I saw that one first. So, Springtime for Hitler is, I think, one of the greatest, like, comedic pieces of all time.
In general, yes.
And I actually really like the updated version with him being gay instead of being, like, a hippie.
Okay. Yeah.
Just because it sort of works better than, like, the, hey, get them.
But I think also, like, the fringe at the time was being gay, not being hippie. You know, it's just the update to the fringe level is what was necessary.
Well, I mean, I think it's, maybe it's, was it fringy in, like, 2004, though?
Yeah. I mean, people are only, like, outwardly comfortable with gayness relatively recently.
Okay.
Because it didn't become, like, a norm in movies and TV shows and all that kind of stuff until... I mean, think about, like, when Ellen came out and how big of a deal that was.
Yeah, she was on, like, the cover of Time magazine.
So, for being so brave and all this kind of stuff. And that was, what, in, like, 1998 or something like that?
Something around then time.
So, and then even shows like When Will and Grace first came out, which was in, like, what, 2000, 1999? Somewhere in the first version. Where,
between Austin Powers movies.
Yeah, and it was a huge deal that your main character was gay. Yeah. You know? And, like, out of the door, it was gay.
Yeah, I guess you're right. There was still, like, a lot of, like, gay jokes at that point.
Yeah.
They're so, like, and happily out of style now. I actually didn't think that they were that funny at the time, but, not to be like, I was cool the whole time.
I was always with it.
I was always, you know... but no, I was actually, like, I feel like I was always a little more sympathetic to...
I never understood what the big deal was. Like, I mean,
well, I think... As a boy,
Yeah.
Boy culture, there's a lot of calling each other gay.
Yes.
And I feel like I didn't do that as much as others, if at all.
Yes.
I think actually, I used to like to mess with people. I used to go along with it, which is maybe worse. I'm not sure. Not go along with it, just be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, like you didn't stop it.
Yeah.
Yes. Which right now means you are complacent with it, so you are part of the problem.
Right.
So, yes.
Well, take that, 12-year-old me.
Go back in time. How dare you?
How dare you?
Come back to the future.
How dare you just be like, I don't love it, but okay. I'm not gonna do it.
Yes. Yeah. Or walk, like you'll just walk away or something. Done. But yeah, I mean, I think in the last like 10, 15 years, like society and culture and everything, at least in North America, is the only one I can talk to about this. I've come a great distance when it comes to like not just humor and stuff, but just the general acceptance of queer, gay, LGBTQ, LPGHA or whatever. Yeah. So they keep adding letters.
Add LPGA on the end of that.
They keep adding
because
letters. Because
you're referencing what the joke in the second movie, because that is a joke in the second one about the LPGA.
Yeah, unibrow.
Yes. Oh, that's a rough joke.
That was a really rough joke, and they went far to get that joke, and you're just like, it's really not.
She didn't need to be unattractive either.
No, she could have been a completely beautiful whatever.
Yeah, that would have been a different joke, and I actually think probably a better joke.
I would think
if it was just like if it was Rebecca Romaine, like
if
it was like that I think that would have been
and like
better.
You know what? If Unibrow was the other model, and Rebecca Romaine was the girlfriend, that would have been a better joke. The jokes would have been the same, but come across completely different, and it would have been just as hilarious. More hilarious? Anyways, we'll just skip over it. It's fine. It would just been better. Done. But like the end of the Nathan Lane scene, he kind of is a little iffy as well. Like that's like they make a gay joke into that too. Yes, they do. Which was a little bit like, oh, they kind of ruined the. This was kind of a fun scene until it got weird. Yeah, because she's like facing forward. She's like, "What is going on?" And they're just making out back here. I'm just like, "What?" I think there is a queer aspect to Austin Powers in a way. Like he is like very much sprays his sexuality everywhere. Yes, and like he's very pro male sexuality in that way. So but he's very at the time the term metrosexual was a big deal. But he's very metro. Like he's into his look. He's into his fashion. He's into other people's fashion. Yeah. But he's very straight. Yes. Very except straight. When it's him. Yes. When it's another him. That is very true. Yeah. Yes. So like, okay. It's just I think there's a twinge in there. Yeah. Of just a little I think he exists on a spectrum. I think that there is if it was a very beautiful man, I think he'd be a little bit like. Yeah. So if like John Hamm was a thing at that time. Yeah, he was like wearing that Canadian tuxedo. Oh boy. Like down. Yeah, and he'd be there too because it's the 60s. Exactly. Yeah. Because Don Draper that shows up in Austin Powers. He's gotta pump that guy for information, man. Oh boy. None of this is making it on the podcast. This is all getting edited out. You have no guest. Be like, sorry, my guest this week bailed. Yes, I just deleted the whole thing. It's over. It's 2 minutes long. So then, Dr. Evil's in prison. Sorry, before we get there. Yep. Which is part of the Nathan Lane part. Because when he goes and meets his father, and they speak English. Yes. Shat on a turtle. I don't know. It's just funny. Yep. I believe some of that is legit Cockney rhyming slang. Yeah, the whole sevens and she's all sevens and sixes. Yeah. That's a real term. That's a real thing. Yes. I don't understand Cockney rhyming slang at all. It is impossible and impenetrable and has no logical sense to it in my brain. It's one of those things where you have to be a child to hear it and you learn it and you're good. It's like learning a new language. So my dad is British. He's not Cockney. He is Northern English. Okay. And he's there's a chain of grocery stores in California called Stater Brothers. Okay. And that became the Tater Brothers, which then became the Irish Grocers. Okay. Sure. Yeah. So it's like a weird, like he's not Cockney and that's not a Cockney rhyming slang thing. But that's sort of how the evolution goes in my brain. Where it's like, it's a word,
that then sounds like another word, which they then just change because it's
to something completely different.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, I see what your explanation
Stater
is.
Brothers,
Yes.
Tater Brothers, Irish grocers, because Irish people eat a lot of potatoes. Because of the famine, where like hundreds of thousands of people died.
No, but wasn't the famine had to do with the fact that
they couldn't grow potatoes?
They couldn't grow potatoes because their diet was based on potatoes, and then the potato crops died a year or something.
Yeah.
And then they just didn't have anything to replace in their diet, so then people just starved to death, right? Yeah, okay, I got that right.
Yeah, there's a whole Paul F. Tompkins bit about them being the pickiest people in the world.
You know what's really weird is I think I talked about the Irish potato famine in the last week, which is
weird. It's on everyone's mind. Terminator 2, the Irish potato famine.
Yes, I don't. Okay.
First, we must start with Ireland.
I don't even remember why. I don't know. It may have been while I was playing D&D. Oh, now you're hearing my nerds. It's fine. Yes, let's continue.
I've been talking about Austin Powers for hours now. And they're like, oh, you see how big a nerd I am. I brought up Steven Spielberg's 1941.
Which nobody watches.
It's known as his worst film ever.
God.
It is a horrendous bomb.
I'm sorry, Indiana Jones 4. Thank you.
Sorry, I don't follow. What is that?
Oh, that's in what is it? The parallel universe that exists? The Bearstein Bears and what is it?
Nelson
Mandela died in like 1980 or whatever.
Yeah. I remember the funeral. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that was a real thing.
Yep. So we also meet Goldmember in 1970.
He likes gold?
Yeah, and I think that's all there is to him. He lost his in a schmelting accident.
Yes.
Yeah, he's Dutch, which is weird.
Yeah. And apparently we hate the Dutch for some reason.
Yeah, I think it's that the Dutch are just nothing. So mean. I made that so much worse. No, it's just such not a group that anyone really, like, they're not doing anything to anybody. Like,
yeah.
It's sort of like if you made fun of, like, people from Laos. Like, it's just like, who cares about, like, no one's bringing up Laos.
Randomly in conversation.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, you know how they drive in Laos, right? Like, no.
Do we? Do they have cars in Laos? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I just, I found it just so confusing.
He just doesn't need to be there. I think they just brought him in because Mike Myers wanted to do another character. For
some unknown reason. Because in this movie alone, he does 4 characters. Yeah. And you're just like, that's a lot.
And Fat Bastard is back.
Yeah.
In Japan, apparently.
In Japan. And, you know, they did the Domo Arigato, Mr. Roboto real quick.
Yeah, which was the most telegraphed joke I think I've ever... Like, I was just waiting for it to happen. Mm-hmm.
Well, because I remember even the first time I saw this movie, as soon as they're like, his name is Mr. Roboto, I'm like, they're going to do a Domo Arigato, Mr. Roboto joke. Yeah. 3 seconds later, Domo Arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mike Myers then gave himself $100,000.
Mm-hmm. He's like,
I did it.
I am humor. Give me money. Done.
So, I was going to bring up another urban legend. Mm-hmm. So, in the scene... Oh my god, this is the worst scene. When Fat Bastard has a fight, like, in the steam room afterwards.
Yes, and he has his wire people have to get ready.
Yes.
Yes.
So, before that scene starts, he's on the toilet.
Yes.
And he says, "When did I eat corn?"
Yes, he does.
Okay. Are you aware of the Carol Channing urban legend?
No.
Yeah, so I've heard this multiple times. In fact, I heard it earlier today, like on a separate podcast.
Okay.
Unrelated to anything. Somebody just brought it up as a story.
Okay.
So what it is that like she went to the bathroom with a hot mic and did her business, and then as Carol Channing says, "When did I eat corn?"
Do you think that's where he got it from?
I don't know. I googled when did I eat corn and only this came up.
Okay.
So then I was like, oh well, the urban legend that I've heard must have happened after this movie came out, and it for some reason chose Carol Channing as being
yeah.
But then I heard it today on a podcast that was just like an older person telling the story. I'm like, I don't think he's referring to an internet meme.
Yeah, no.
So I think it's just like a known thing. So I'm thinking it must be
a direct reference.
A direct reference to Carol Channing.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Looking at her stool.
But like, you know, having seen Carol Channing and seen her interviews and stuff, she may have, after she had done her business, realized her mic was still hot and was just like, what's funny? What's funny? When did I eat corn? You know, like that just happens.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's what I thought of when I saw it. I'm like, wait a minute. Pause. Rewind.
Yes.
When did I eat corn?
And that's
I've heard that before.
Oh, the fact that like you were just like that triggered something in your brain kind of confuses me, but sure.
I am a sick man.
Yes.
I need to go to therapy tonight.
Yeah. So after this, you're gonna walk out. You're gonna see a therapist.
That's right.
Yes.
And be like, I remembered this Carol Channing story, and
they're like, "Oh no!"
to tell the story on a podcast. And they're like, "Oh no, you need to go away now." Yeah. So they put a malaria net over me, and they take me over to the funny house.
Yes. We're just gonna keep going. Yeah.
Oh, I wrote down color contact lenses weird me out. That is a written statement.
I can verify that. Yes, it is a written statement. Yep.
Foxy Cleopatra, a combination of Foxy Brown and Cleopatra Jones.
Yes, that is correct.
It's another fun fact of my triggered in my brain.
Yes. One thing I never understood is why she only wore one hoop earring, but
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah,
maybe that's a Beyonce.
It was always on the left hand side, which I was just
you had
like,
to do a little jig there to.
Yeah, well, I had to like orientate myself. I'm like, which side was it on? Because I'm like thinking of like the scene in the car, and I'm like, if she's in the passenger seat, she'd be here, so it's this side, so it's the left hand side. Yes.
My next note is about the flashback of the car when Dr. Evil's car explodes.
Oh,
and his mother dies.
And they show a scene from some Michael Caine movie when him turning around.
Oh, that's
later. I was trying to look up what movie that was from, and I couldn't figure it out. I didn't have enough time.
So that was the reveal later.
Yes.
In this one, they just have like the Dutch family adopt him.
Oh,
and
yes.
He refers to his adopted mother as his father's 15-year-old love slave.
Yeah, with webbed toes.
Which is the darkest joke. It like took a dark joke from the first movie and made it so much darker.
Because she was a prostitute before.
Yes. Not necessarily a 15-year-old love slave.
Yeah, which is just
oof.
Gross.
Yeah.
Which is also a joke that would never have made it into the movie today.
Probably
at all.
Not, no.
Especially since Kevin Spacey was in the movie.
He wanted us to know.
He's the one who wrote that joke. There you go.
I was watching LA Confidential a couple weeks ago, which is great.
Which is also a movie I've never seen.
Oh, it runs like clockwork. Like it's a wonderful script.
Yeah.
But there's a scene because Kevin Spacey's prominently featured in it. And they bring him up.
But that's also Russell Crowe did not win for this one. He won the next year for Gladiator. Yeah, because he should have.
Kim Basinger won for LA Confidential.
Oh my god, that's right. She does have an Oscar.
Yeah. She's good in it.
Yeah. Okay.
But there's a scene in it where he's talking about like, because he's like a consultant on like a detective show, and someone's like, when are we gonna see the real you? And he goes, "Oh, America's not ready to see the real me."
And you're just like, oh, whoa, wow, okay, yeah. It just took 20 years, and we saw the real you.
We know now.
Yeah.
At least I hope we know now.
Yeah.
If there's more, I am done.
Like we previously talked about him on the podcast, and it was just like everything he says now, you like in a movie that you see him in, you take in a completely different context, and it's just like, oh my god, foreshadowing. Oh my god, you were trying to let us know. It's that
he kind of does play creeps constantly.
He does. He really does.
He doesn't play much anymore.
No, he doesn't really do a lot of anything anymore.
So we have another Dr. Evil musical sequence in prison.
Because it's a hard knock life.
Yeah, it has words bleeped out.
Yes, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, because I also don't think he said said word that I think they're bleeping out.
Right.
So, I think it's funny.
Oh, do you think that's the word that they were supposedly bleeping out?
Yeah, they're in prison.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Oh, I couldn't even figure out what it was supposed to be.
Or maybe it's one of those things where they're
Very
just like,
light.
they'll like just take a random word and bleep it. People will go nuts.
Right.
Yes.
Well, no, it was just like it became more and more like television. This movie, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like we have the Osbournes show up,
mm-hmm.
Which is also very dated.
Yes.
That,
oh my
that
god.
Does not travel through time well.
At all. No, not at all.
It's like, oh right, that was a thing.
There's also Masioka is in this as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's in the Godzilla scene, which it's not Godzilla though.
Right.
It's yes.
So Godzilla scene, not that funny. Pointing out that it's not Godzilla is funny.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you.
It's close, but not intellectual property. Yeah,
level.
That's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they're doing a Godzilla thing, not that funny.
Yeah, I totally get it. Yes, because it's one of those like the Domargato joke. It's just a little too on the nose kind of thing, Oh, the again they did the shadow scene, so the sailor physical scene.
Yeah. I
found that really hilarious.
So the doctor giving the physical is the man that gives Austin Powers the Swedish-made penis and larger pump in the first movie.
Oh my god, I didn't put that together.
Yeah, and I was like, yay!
He's back!
Because he's very dry, very funny. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what makes it work.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So we have Michael Caine in this movie.
Who I think kills it. Like, he actually, like,
good.
Properly acts in this movie.
Yeah. There is a joke in this movie that I think is the meanest and super offensive. And it's so quick. But, okay. So, Michael Caine meets Mini-Me for the first time and he goes, oh, I thought I smelled cabbage.
Yes,
okay.
Which I never understood.
I figured it out because I watched all 3 of these movies in a row.
Oh no. Okay.
So, in the first movie, Austin Powers says there's 2 things that I'm afraid of. One is nuclear war.
Yes.
And he goes, what is the second one? He goes, carnies. Circus folk. Small hands. Smell like cabbage.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. So he calls him a circus freak.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. I did not put that together in any way, shape, or form. Oh my god.
It is a callback from 5 years earlier.
That is a long joke, man. Yeah. That is a long joke. Okay.
Yeah.
That's mean.
I know.
That is so mean.
I know.
People do not know how mean it is until now.
Yeah. I've broken the story, people. It's all here.
Yeah. What, like, the effect of, like, the circling newspaper. Newsflash!
Michael Caine makes mean jokes in 2002.
Look, things come back around to people.
She was
Kevin
only
Spacey
16 years old.
We keep going dark. It's fine.
Which one of you killed my brother?
I
think this is going back a little bit now. The scene with the fountain and Austin Powers peeing.
Yeah, it's funny.
It was funny. And then the part where he has to hide the guard and it looks like like Austin Powers is peeing into his mouth.
Yeah, it's not funny.
I actually like that. I think both times that I've enjoyed. So I also enjoy the silhouette jokes, and I think it's because I enjoyed the disgust on the faces of the people that are looking at it.
Yes,
because I'm like, oh, these people are disgusting.
Like, that's what makes me laugh. And that's the thing with the sailor part. It's the sailor who's there, the other sailor who's there for his physical.
Yeah.
His expression and the cutbacks is the thing that makes that scene work.
Yeah.
Because if that wasn't there, you'd just be like, so.
However, when Mini-Me's on his chest and then falls down with, like, the IV bag, yeah, that was pretty good. It's so weird that it made me laugh. Like, it's just such an odd thing.
Yeah, because you're just like, wait a second, why did you wrap him that way? Why does he have this in the first place? Why is that the way you're letting him go? But you're just like, okay, it's a man giving birth. Done. It's like Junior.
It's also, like weirdly biological. Like, it's like...
Oh, yes.
It's weirdly, like, accurate in terms of, like, it has, like, an umbilical cord and he's all wet.
And he, like, flops on the ground for a second, you know? That's all the things.
And so are we in the boat yet? I think we're in the boat.
The submarine?
Yes.
Yes.
And he goes, one of us is going to have to get on the other one's shoulders. Oh, Mini-Me's changed sides.
Yes, he has. At this point.
Yeah, and so one of us is going to have to get on the other one's shoulders.
Yeah.
I like that joke.
It's
I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
But it's still...
I like the fact that, like, he's just, like, bumping into crap he can't see, and he's just like, I'm going to go to the left! It's great.
Also, he has his, like, arms out, like, he's, like...
he's, like, walking.
Yeah.
Like he's a robot.
Yeah. Oh, it was very strange and, like, stupid, and I knew it was coming. It was a super telegraph joke.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, but it still made me laugh.
It still makes you laugh. Yes, I did like that one. That was great. At the end of the movie, John Travolta is playing Goldmember on the screen. Yep. And I was just like, ew. Yep. Okay. Sure.
Somebody owed somebody a favor.
I
think Tom Cruise made him do it.
Scientology,
like a Scientology
brothers.
thing. Yeah, he's just like, we'll tell people. And he's like, I'll do it. I'm Dutch, isn't that weird?
They also, when Fat Bastard shows back up, he's skinny. He went on the Subway diet, Jared. There's another joke that doesn't age well.
No, it didn't age well at all.
No.
Oh. Nope, took note of that in my head just right. Oh.
As soon as it said it, I'm like, note. My note is actually Subway diet ...
Uh-huh.
I didn't need to write more than that.
As soon as you said Subway diet, I'm like, oh no. We got a Kevin Spacey situation.
Oh, very
Blue
much
alert.
So.
We also get revealed that Austin Powers and Dr. Evil are brothers.
Yes, that is a big reveal, you know.
Which is the same reveal that happens at the end of Spectre. The latest James Bond movie has that reveal that James Bond and Blofeld are
that's
like
right, they're related.
Brothers.
Yes.
Yeah.
That movie was crap.
Yeah, I actually don't hate that movie.
I do.
Yeah, no, it's everyone else's.
Really
Everyone else hates that.
I mean, but it made me angry because especially like Christoph Waltz, he's such a good actor, and like this made him seem like an amateur, and it annoyed me. And then also there's the guy who plays Moriarty on Sherlock, and then as soon as he showed up, I'm like, he's a bad guy, don't trust him. And then he was the bad guy, and you shouldn't have trusted him.
Oh, that guy should play Elon Musk.
Oh my God, yes! Yes.
We did it.
We did it. We found our movie. It's going to happen.
We finally were able to replace Kevin Spacey in this fake movie.
It's going to happen.
We're scrambling. What are we going to do?
What are we going to do? Get a script together. Let's get them on the phone. It's going to be amazing. I would definitely watch that movie. Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's the end of my notes.
Yeah, my last note was, I found out that Katie Couric, like, you know this scene where, like, Dr. Evil gets, like, a visit from Frau
Farbessner.
There you go. And they're, like, making out or whatever, and somebody breaks them up. That's Katie Couric.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was looking up stuff, and I was like, Katie Couric. I was like, what? She's the prison guard. What? And then I wrote a note about it.
It's very strange.
Yeah.
Because she was like, was she on the Today Show at that point?
Yeah. I want to say yes.
Okay. It's an odd choice. Okay.
Just something to do, I guess, on the weekend.
Yeah, maybe they shot it at the NBC lot or whatever.
Or something,
And she was already there.
I mean, they did show some lot at the beginning, so
right.
Maybe it's one of theirs. That's it.
So how are your feelings about it now? At the end of, what time is it?
How much have I recorded so far? 3.5 hours.
Nice.
Jesus. This is going to be like an epically long one again. Oh my God.
Oh, I'm glad. I wanted to beat Sutterman. So that was my goal.
You did beat Suderman, yes. I don't think...
And then you guys talked about 4 movies. We just did 3.
That is true. That is true. But then we also went into deep, dark places, came up with an epic idea for a movie and a comic book. We went all over the place.
Oh, really. We're going to monetize this thing like crazy.
Yeah. Oh, God, we're going to kill it. It's going to be amazing. Yeah. Well, after watching these movies, I mean, I watched the first one and the second one, and I thought to myself, I thought this was going to be more fun. And then I watched the third one, and I was just like, oh, there's the fun.
Right.
But now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, is it really that good? I don't think so. I think give it like 3 more years and all of the humor from all of it will be gone.
See, I stand by that first one. I really enjoy it. I know it's not great, and some of the humor didn't age terribly well. Yeah. But I really enjoy the parody part of it. Like, I really get the things that it's making fun of. Yeah. And I really like enjoy it subverting my expectations from those tropes. Yes. And the other ones sort of don't do that so much.
Well, because their focus is different, right? Like, because I think, like you said, actually, like, the first one focuses on the parody characters and, like, who they're supposed to be in that world. Yeah. Where the other ones were just, like, pop culture references, boom! And not really focusing on, like, the world those characters
are in. It's like Family Guy.
Yes, I will agree with that. I mean, I can't even watch Family Guy anymore. Like, I think, the thing is if I watch it, it makes me laugh, but then I feel bad about laughing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's sort of how I felt about the second 2 movies. Yeah. Like, I kind of giggled a lot through this. I don't agree with what I laughed at. Yeah.
And then that's the thing, you know? It's like, I'm laughing, but I'm like, I feel like I just died a little on the inside, you know?
I feel like a whore.
I feel like Meg. There you go. You know? She's... It just got worse. Yeah. It's fine. Any final thoughts?
No, I think those were sort of my final thoughts. Yeah. If you want to watch Zoolander, I'm down to that. That's my other, like, get me out from depression movie. But yeah, no, this movie has, like, it's comfort food for me, the first one.
See, my thing is it's comfort food for me is, like, it's animated movies. So I gotta watch, like, something animated for me to be, like, feel a little bit better about myself.
Right. I totally agree with pretty much any criticism towards any of these things, but at the same time, like, that first one still does it for me. Yeah. Like, I'm 100% in the whole time for it.
You're like, it's crap, but I love it.
Yeah, you
totally. Know? Yeah, everybody has one of those movies that they're just like, I have no right or reason to defend any of this. I'm just telling you I like it. Done. Sorry. Like, but this happens. I'm like, yes, it does. Yeah, but this happens. I'm like, oh, it does. You know,
Kevin
but
Spacey.
This happens. Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, you're like, I'm still laughing at it. Thank you. Well, Josh, thank you so much for being here and talking Austin Powers with me and getting to the minutia of the world. Yeah. I guess.
Oh, we talked. We made some progress today. Thank you for. I mean, I can skip probably therapy tonight because I feel like a weight's off me.
Off you, yeah. You know, we talked through some like PSA notes and everything. You know, like words to live by.
Be nice to people.
Yeah.
Be nice.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what people should be thinking most of the time, which people don't. So thank you for being here and doing this, and I guess we'll probably have to get you back for something else, you know. As a film school student, maybe you can school me on some things I never noticed before.
Sure.
Some of the things.
Yeah, we can do a season of Off My Shelf where I make you watch Tarkovsky.
Oh God. No.
Oh, it's painful too. Like some of those are long and real boring.
Yeah. I mean, I call myself a cinephile, but also I only watch movies I enjoy. Yeah. So
I watched the original Solaris, and it was a slog. Even for me, and I have a real high tolerance.
Didn't watch either of them.
I haven't seen the new one. I've only seen the original.
But the new one is like 6 years old now.
Oh, the new one's like 16 years old now. It was like 2000. It was around like...
Oh my God, that is... Yeah, like 16. Yeah, okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Yes.
No, give me something... Like, you can give me like a weird one. Like, I actually, when we talked about this, I was like, give me one that no one wants to do.
I will be able to find that.
Oh, yeah, no. Give me something like this, just like... oh God!
Yeah, we'll have to figure this out. Yeah,
who am I gonna punish?
Well, maybe when I get to like Pi, do some like Aronofsky or something.
Okay, I haven't seen that, so yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Well, if you like things that are painful to watch,
I've seen Requiem already, and I don't want to watch that again.
I'm not looking forward to watching that one again.
That one I will actually say no to. I will not watch that again.
Like that's the thing. It's like it's one of those movies that is really good. Like it's well acted, well scripted, well edited, the whole bit. but I never want to see it again.
I
But
actually
I'm going
might.
to watch it
I
again.
tried watching it again when I was like 17. I saw that when I was like 13.
No,
and it
that's
fucked me up for life.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah, no, I've never done drugs.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, and I think that's what it's
worked.
there for. Yeah.
But I watched it again, and it's just like it's so relentless that I think it's too much. Like
It's
I
a
think
lot.
it's going too hard, especially at the, like that end scene.
It's brutal. It's brutal.
And I think it's too much brutal.
Yeah. I think there is a certain line that you shouldn't go over because it just gets too much. And like, there's a lot of movies out there that deal with drugs and people staying in a drug-infested environment and destroying their lives and all that kind of stuff, but it never crosses a certain line.
Yeah.
This movie was just like beating you to death with
Yeah.
it. Just like, here you go, drugs are bad. Oh my god, you know, it was just.
I still think about stuff that happens in that last scene 15 years later and go, oh.
Yeah. Trust me, I'm going to have to rewatch it for this podcast, and I'm not looking forward to it at all. Yes, I hope it's during the summer and it's a bright sunny day. So yeah, and I'll probably not be in my apartment because I don't want to have to jump off a balcony. It's fine. But
yeah, thanks for having me. I had a really fun time, you guys.
I'm glad you had a good time. Yeah. Thank you so much.
I'm glad to do it anytime, seriously.
Yes, we'll definitely have to have you back. Well, that's it for this episode of Off My Shelf. You can follow Off My Shelf on Twitter and Instagram at ohmyshelf, or you can send me emails at ohmyshelf@gmail.com. On the next episode, we're going to be talking about another trilogy, Back to the Future, one of the best trilogies ever made, according to everybody. Hope you'll be here to listen.